You're muted. Yeah.
What the hell, man? What the hell? I've been sick all week. I'm dying. And this is how we start the show. First time in like a month that you and I are back together, maybe even longer.
Hi,
and
Sandy.
I'm muted for some reason. Makes no sense. Anyway, the band is back together. Finally.
Yeah. I think you're expecting me to say something, I guess.
I was. Yes, I was.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Yeah. So, I had to miss a few weeks. Drew had to do a solo. We had to, had to miss, then I had to do a solo. Then we also, so life has been a little hectic these last, 6-7 weeks or so. But we are here, and we have a couple big weeks ahead of us. The next month is pretty insane. When we talk about stuff, we're coming off of PLE and WWE. We had a big Dynamite last night. Next weekend is jam-packed with wrestling. There's an NXT PLE. There's All In, which is the biggest PLE of the year for AEW. There's Saturday night's main event. The next night is Evolution. So that weekend is going to be loaded. And then right after that, we're 3 weeks away from SummerSlam. So this next
2 nights SummerSlam.
2 nights, the first 2 nights SummerSlam. So they're gonna, it's just we're in a crazy time here these next 5 or 6 weeks. So we're glad to be back today. We're gonna push through this one, baby. I probably sound terrible. I'm all right though. We'll be fine. But yeah, I'm glad that Drew's back. I'm glad that we're back. I'm glad the band is back together. And we're gonna do this thing. But first and foremost, it's been a little bit since I've at least seen you. We've chatted here or there because we've both been really busy with non-content sides of life. But how are we doing, pal? Are you there? Are you on a big delay or something?
I'm good. There's a lot.
I think you're on a huge delay.
Is being stupid at the moment.
All right, I was going to say I think you're on a huge delay right now. You're talking like 5 seconds after I talk.
No, this is what happens.
Fair.
So, this is what happens when we have to get back together and do a show. You're muted. My computer sucks. It's what life is. This is what happens.
It's fair. But how are we doing?
I'm good. This was a long month. It has been a month because I remember the first week of June, we did a show, and then life got crazy, and now it's the first week of July, and we're back doing a show together. Yeah.
Now the plan is that it won't be the first week of August is the next time we're together. The plan is that, there will probably still be a Thursday here or there where you might see one of us instead of two, or one of us with the guest here or there. There might even be a few weeks maybe we have to switch the day if we can work a different day. It is what it is. It's the summertime. Obviously, I've been very open with you guys that I've started a new shoot job. The summertime is busy. Drew's summertime schedule is almost completely different than his, as we would call, like, he's not in school, but he works in the school system as the school year schedule. So, it's one of those things. It's one of those things. But we're here. Ophelia, good to see you. We're hoping not. Scott, good morning. No, I don't think so. It seems like Drew's responding a lot quicker to my stuff now than he was a minute ago.
So what happened was that I opened something, and when I open something while I've got the camera running, it slows down everything, and then once it stops loading, then it gets back to normal.
There you go.
Now
Drew is actually on an Apple computer from 1987, so that's what he's using this morning, which is why that is no, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
No, it's just a Dell from 1987.
There we go. Was Dell even around in 1987?
No, it's not. It's also not 1980. I think it's like a 10-year-old computer almost.
No, I'm kidding. I remember Dell getting popular, like when it got popular, but I thought that was like mid to late 90s. Yeah, something like that.
I believe it was mid-90s. Yeah.
Like they had the fancy colored. I remember they had a bunch of different colors for the computers. Apple did that too, but I remember Dell having and it was like, oh, that looks nifty, even though Dell was actually turned into a good computer company. So it is what it is. But all right, we're here. We're chilling. Obviously, I feel like we should start with What's up? Go. Oh, I don't know. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You reacted. I thought something else happened. I was just going to mention, because Sandy said that I need a RAM upgrade. My computer already got a RAM upgrade, and it still is acting like this. So
you know what that means? You need a new computer.
I means I need a new computer.
You need a new computer. That's how that goes. That's how they get you. So you paid for that RAM upgrade, and it didn't even do anything. So now you're like, damn, now I got to pay even more money for a new computer.
Yeah.
It's a shame. But I figured, obviously, this past weekend, there was a PLE on one side of things when it comes to WWE and AEW. So I figured we would start with WWE this week. Hell yeah. I got to get one the second this show ends. I have to go get one because I had an appointment before the show because I've been sick all week just to make sure I'm not dying. And I was on a rush to get home and I didn't have time to get a coffee. So the second this show ends, I'm going to say, Drew, I love you. Glad you're back. I got to go. Get a cold brew because your boy can barely keep his eyes open. It's incredible. But PLE this past weekend, Night of Champions. Obviously, we'll kind of intertwine Monday Night Raw, which I'm going to be honest with you. I had a real good time with Monday Night Raw. I thought Monday Night Raw, again, I'm probably going to be more positive than most when it comes to Night of Champions. I thought Night of Champions was a solid to pretty good show. But I really liked Monday Night Raw. So we'll obviously start there, and then we'll go into AEW Dynamite 300 last night, which I also very much liked. It was a good show last night. So that's where, Scott, keep it in your pants, bro. That's where we're going to go there. So,
well, we got I can tell you one thing for sure. You're definitely going to be more positive about that show.
Because, yeah, I mean, it was objectively a good show. So, it is what it is.
I'm gonna tell you right out the bat, and I think I may have said this to you. I don't remember if I did. I didn't watch it.
Why are you here then?
Well, there's another thing that I watched that's part of the title.
Yeah, but we do a show on both now. So if we're going to be talking about things, you should watch the product.
I know.
Just saying.
The product sucks.
But it doesn't though. Raw was really good. Night of Champions was good. Right. So
listen, in another thing I'm going to be very upfront with everybody. You don't hear this on a podcast normally, but I'm a different type of person.
Because it doesn't help viewership.
WWE ain't doing it for me right now.
Well, that's fair. I think that's a fair argument, even though they're still pretty good. But
WWE isn't doing it for me right now, and I will say there were things that I saw from Twitter that happened at Night of Champions that I was a fan of, and I'm like, you know what, that's cool. one of the winners of, I'll specifically say King of the Ring. I don't think he needed that, but
Oh,
neither did his opponent. So I would have liked maybe LA Knight or someone else to have won that match, but I have no interest in seeing John Cena and Cody Rhodes again. I've said that many times. So not exactly thrilled that that's happening again. But it looks like there may be an added wrinkle with Seth Rollins. I don't hate that part.
potentially.
So
I think
so
there's
we'll
ways
see
that
if something happens there.
I think there's ways
Um,
that they can go about it.
this
I think they've
Goldberg,
been
I don't give a fuck about that. I don't
That's
give
fair.
a fuck about that.
Yeah, but
There ain't nothing about Goldberg that I even care to watch ever again.
yeah.
So
I mean, Gunther's going to destroy him, so it doesn't matter. But
yeah,
yeah.
but no, not a fan. Not
Yeah.
not needed at all.
I would say that I am not a fan of Goldberg as well. This doesn't do much for me, but if he wants to have a final match in his hometown of Atlanta, Georgia, I think that he has earned the right to have that match. Do I think it needs to be for a world title against somebody of the caliber of Gunther? No.
That definitely
But,
hurts it even more for me, for sure. If it was just like
but
a random match
yeah,
for not a
but
title,
yeah,
I'd still
but
hate it, but I'd be like, okay.
but
But
with
it's
that
no.
with that being said, I mean, regardless of how you feel about the guy is one of the most over professional wrestlers in the history of professional wrestling. He's oh, so
What?
yeah, that was a drop kick. That was a drop kick. He was like, I'm coming in there. So yeah. So again, it's Saturday night's main event. Those shows are what they are.
And
I don't
also,
expect
I have to choose between Saturday night's main event and All In.
no, it'll be over by then.
Oh, that's right. Oh no, I'm
All
sorry.
in's in the afternoon.
Yeah. Great
Yeah.
American Pal. Listen, I know Sandy. I know you're here. Love you, pal. But that's just not going to happen. Sorry. Not watching Great American Bash. Enjoy. But if everybody, whoever, see, this is the thing though, because there are people out there that go, "Oh, f this, f that. This sucks.
Yeah,
Whatever."
sounds like you, actually.
If it
Sounds
works
like you.
for you though, power to you. Enjoy it. Just not my cup of tea.
Which is fine.
That's
But
where I
again,
differ from other people.
yeah, and that's why you're going to differ by not being on the show moving forward if you don't watch the product that we're reviewing on the show. True.
Hey, there was
Idiot.
only one Night of Champions, so we're good.
Yeah, but that's the main first hour of the fucking show, Drew. We're going to talk about it, and you have nothing to say.
I'll trust me. I'll have things to say. There will be no
Ridiculous.
silence on this side.
Unbelievable. But your opinion doesn't matter because you didn't watch the show. Jeez Louise, brother. First, like, come on. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Anyway, I could have slept and rested in. I could have, got a coffee. For the
You
love
need
of
to
God.
invest in a machine at home, by the way.
I do have a machine at home. I had an appointment. I had to be out.
You could have made
That's
the
why
coffee before the.
I have no. I'm not having fucking old coffee. What am I gonna make a coffee? I had to be in a doctor's room at 7:45 in the morning today. I'm not waking up.
Thank you, Maria.
I'm not.
Maria.
Drew is not
I
a
am
pro.
I am. A pro.
Drew is not a pro. When you do a show where you review what happened in the week of WWE and AEW, but you don't watch the pay-per-view that WWE has, that's not being a pro. It's being an amateur, actually. And I don't know how you guys know. I don't do amateur shit.
I have always said that I am a very different person. If you come to the show, if you follow me on Twitter, you know I am a very different person. And if sometimes there is something that I am not going to support and watch, and it's definitely going to be somewhere where I'm not even welcome as a human being.
That is fair.
I am not going to do it. So I'm telling you now. I'm telling everybody that's watching this. It's on my Twitter too right now, by the way.
Wait, what do you mean? Like on the header?
No,
What do you mean?
we're live on my Twitter right now.
Oh, yeah.
If it's in Saudi, I ain't watching it.
That's fair. Now we
Just
know.
letting you know now.
Now we know. We'll have a guest for Drew on the weeks that happens, because we can't not talk about a pay-per-view.
You could talk about it. I'll give you my reactions. It's not like I'm gonna be silent while you're talking for an hour. So
Yeah,
I'm here.
yeah. I mean, you didn't miss much, if we're being honest. I thought it was a good show. I had a good time with it, but nothing sizable. To me, there was like one sizable event that occurred that I nailed. Well, yeah, exactly. Moving forward, then that's the issue, right? It's all about money, and moving forward, Saudi's going to keep getting more and more shows. So it is what it is. It used to be one show a year, then it was 2 shows a year. Next year they're going to get 3. Where does it end? You know?
Unless one of the shows that we know is going to be one of the shows. It could be aren't they contracted to 2 shows a year?
Yeah. Oh, I think the Royal Rumble, I don't know why they're doing the Royal Rumble, because the Royal Rumble is that's a one-time deal, I would hope, clearly. I don't think they're going to fucking keep the Royal Rumble, although they're keeping Mania in Vegas for 2 years in a row. But I don't think they're going to keep the Rumble the Rumble will move around. But they are getting through, I would assume, unless the Rumble is going to take the place of one of the other shows, and then they only do the Rumble and one other show. I just assumed the Rumble was an add-on to all, because what do we get? We get Crown Jewel is one, right? That's always one that they do.
Mm-hmm.
And then Night of Champions was this, you know?
Well, because Night of Champions doesn't have to be in Saudi. It can be anywhere.
No. And what was the other one called? What were the 2 that it was? Crown Jewel, and what was the other one?
Oh, what was the other one?
What was that other show called for a bit? And Crown Jewel was like, yeah, right. There was a second one that I thought was the same show for a few years. Super Showdown, was that it? Super Showdown.
Oh, Super Showdown. Yep, that's right.
Yeah. All right, good. All right. So we'll run through this quickly, I guess. So that's what we're gonna do. Show opened. See, as much as I missed you last week when I was by myself, I had no one here to like piss me off or come at me or come against my my views. And I was like, oh, this is wonderful. I can just say what I feel, which is right. And then everybody can just deal with it.
Because that stops you when I'm here.
It doesn't. But I mean, when somebody's, doing this the whole time, it's just like, come on, I'm right. Just nod and continue. Here's the thing I will say. I agree with Drew when it comes to, look, I'm glad that everyone got there safely. I'm glad everyone got home safely. I know at the beginning of last week, there was a lot of discussion about whether they should go or not, and I understood that discussion, but it was very clear that they were going to go because money. So it is what it is. However, I'm glad that everything went safely, everything went without a hitch, and all that fun stuff. And I will say the reason why I don't like that they go there has nothing to do with the people that were in attendance to that show. Because the people that were in attendance to that show are really good wrestling fans, and that crowd was awesome for Night of Champions. They were loud, they were singing, they felt like a legitimate, true international wrestling crowd. And those people that are fans of WWE, that are just regular every
He got muted for a second. So
yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. But the people that are just the regular everyday citizens that got to go see WWE and get to go see WWE, I'm happy that they get to see that. All right. That's fine to me. Okay. And you can tell during the shows, they have a great time. And that's fine. That's fun. I get to go to wrestling shows near Boston and have a good time. Everybody should. It's the government and the people that run things over there that are the problem. So we're not going to talk more about it. I don't care about your opinions of things. Like, I care about you guys in the chat. Go watch other podcasts if you want to deep dive into other aspects of it, the Punk stuff. Don't care. I'm talking about the matches and the show. I don't give a fuck about how anybody feels about other things. I really don't. Like I care how you guys feel in general, but I'm not talking for 45 minutes about how you feel about stuff. That's not what this show is. So I just want to get that out of the way because I know it's a very touchy subject, but we're here to talk about the wrestling show. And that's what we're going to do, if everybody is okay with that. I will say, though, because Maria said something, it is what it is. It is what it is. You are 100% allowed to feel that way. I personally don't give a shit either way. I think it's a bad look. I think he looks like an idiot, but I'm not crying over it. I'm not, it doesn't ruin my day. It doesn't change how I feel about a damn thing. So it is what it is. So
the fact of the matter is, wrestling is still better with him in
it. 1,000%. And however you feel about him, and he put on
he may be a dog shit person, but
maybe
wrestling is still better with him in that.
Maybe. I don't know if he is. He stands for a lot of good things anyway. So I don't know.
Used to, at least.
You know. But anyways, the show starts off.
Well, I like Chips Ahoy, Josh. So fuck you, pal.
Chips Ahoy.
I don't like Chips Ahoy. It's disgusting.
Chips Ahoy. That's a whole nother topic, Fernando. That's a whole nother topic. I actually did. All right. So this is weird, right? For me, right? Because can we just talk about this? The best Oreo flavor, Oreo. Oreo is the best.
There was
flavor.
one phenomenal one that they came out with a long time ago that Chips Ahoy then stole from them, and now they're contracted with, and that was the Reese's flavor.
Oh, anything with Reese's.
I will forever be a fan, and it was always just a limited time, and they never did it again because now Chips Ahoy and Reese's have a partnership. But the Oreo Reese's was amazing.
Is double stuffed technically a flavor because it's just in the original Oreo with double the? Is that a different flavor, or is it a different kind?
It's the same original, but it's just more.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
I thought it was.
Listen, and I'm going to get raked over the coals for this, probably more than just what I said a couple minutes ago, but I think Oreos are vastly overrated. Vastly. Delicious. I will not turn them down. I will eat the whole fucking thing. Vastly overrated. But anyway, it is what maybe it's because I find dipping cookies in milk repulsive.
Well, I don't.
Repulsive.
I think I did that maybe, I'm 34 now. I think I did that maybe 25 years ago. And that was the last time.
Well, I'm telling you, I am like, obviously I'm an adult man. And if I ever saw an adult dipping cookies in milk, I'd be like, get away from me. But I don't know. There's something repulsive. I don't want shit floating in my milk. If I'm drinking a glass of milk, I want that milk to be pure. I don't need cookie crumbs in my milk. Oh. If I want shit in my milk, I'll go order ice cream. That's how I feel about that. If I want shit in my milk, I'll go to get a fucking cookies and cream ice cream. That'll work for me. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
Just saying. But anyway, King of the Ring, Cody Rhodes. You don't drink milk, Sandy. What about your bones?
I don't drink milk either.
I mean, I haven't drank a full-on just regular glass of milk probably since I was a teenager, if we're being honest. But like I put like milk in my, and like you, I mean, I put usually a different type of milk in, like I'll put like oat milk or almond milk in my,
right.
However, obviously if you're lactose intolerant, no, but milk is good. The calcium, it's good for your bones, which is why we have a bunch of weak motherfuckers walking around this planet because nobody drinks milk anymore. Apparently, if you don't drink milk, it works with your emotions too. Anyway, so King of the Ring, finals. Cody Rhodes beats Randy Orton. Kind of saw it coming a little bit. Randy going for it 2 years in a row made me kind of doubt. Oh, God. Sorry, are you all right?
Yeah.
Are you all right? Is everything okay? Is that okay? It's Drew dead?
Yeah, I'm good.
Goddamn. Yeah, Maria, of course he did. Why would you think he wasn't going to? Again, I just, you know. So Cody wins King of the Ring. We're going to get the rematch at SummerSlam, Cody and John Cena. I actually think they can do some fun stuff with that match if they really want to, but I expect Cody to win the belt back, but we'll get there when we get there. But so Cody beats Randy. Good match. But not, I think this is the first match just to give us kind of a taste of it. I expect a feud in the not so distant future where we will kind of get this proper with these two gentlemen.
After I read that comment and almost choked to death, my cat actually came over here to check on me.
Yeah, exactly. See, I've been sick the last couple of days and I've been working through it, but one day I was like, I can't, I got to stay home and rest, guys. I can't go to work. And that whole day, Lou stayed kind of right near me the whole day because he knew. He was like, oh, he's in rough shape. He's in rough shape. And I was like, thanks, bud. One thing I will say about this match, it was a good match. And people are saying that Randy is totally going to turn heel on Cody. If you would that's the easy answer. That would be the easy answer for sure. I don't know. During the match, though, I felt like there were spots in the match where we've seen throughout this Cody, just Cody in general, that he's had a lot of matches where he's had the opportunity to really be vicious and be aggressive and do something to really win a match, and he doesn't do it because he's the good guy. And I felt like in this match with Randy, there were a couple instances where he was vicious and he wasn't holding back and he was doing the things that he didn't necessarily do before. Exactly, Scott. In that match, Cody was wrestling more like the heel than Randy was. Mm-hmm. And again, we'll jump around because you didn't watch the show, so it does, whatever. And the main event, which I thought at the end it turned into a shit show, but the actual match before everybody started coming out, I thought that was really good. I thought it was really good. It felt like an old school wrestling match to me between Punk and Cena. They started with chain wrestling, and it was just really good. Exactly, Ophelia. Exactly. That's how I think SummerSlam's going to go. I think SummerSlam is going to be Cody and Cena, and I think Cody's going to win the belt back, but I think we're going to do a double turn because John Cena has been doing things over the last little bit that have been a little babyface-ish. And I saw the way Cody wrestled in that match with Randy. I've seen John over the last little bit, not leaning into being a babyface again, but doing some babyface things, and I still think that Cena is not going to be a heel the whole year. I think those last few months are going to be babyface John, so the crowd can actually adore him the way we want to on his way out. I think if there was ever going to be a time where they would pull the trigger on that, I think SummerSlam with a double turn with Cody winning the belt back, but going heel and Cena becoming the babyface for the last 4 months. I think that's a possibility, Drew. I think it can happen because they've been teasing it. They've been teasing Cody being more vicious. They've been teasing John.
Okay, so here's a question now. Is he going to join forces with The Rock?
Cody?
Yeah.
I don't know what to think of The Rock because The Rock's not around.
I know, but some part of me because they like to play with the real world and the fake shit and all that stuff. I can see them saying that Rock disappeared because he actually didn't see it in Cena. He wanted it to be there we go. I was waiting for that. Thank you. He really wanted it to be Cody. He didn't want it to be Cena, but he went with Cena out of spite. Hold on, let me move my arm.
No, just get out of the way, Drew. Have some respect.
My coffee, not yours. My coffee, not yours. Um, so I could see them doing a thing where um I could see them
Well,
doing a thing.
they won't stay there. Is that the girl or the boy?
The boy,
He's gonna stay there?
yeah, maybe for like 10 seconds.
Oh, he's ready to murder you. Oh, he's ready to murder you. He's coming in for the sniff, and then he's gonna fucking claw you. Oh, he's a good boy. He's a good boy.
So yeah, so I will say I could see them doing a thing where they blend the real life and the fake world here, and they go, okay, so Rock will come back for SummerSlam. It's a 2-night SummerSlam. It's a big deal. He'll come back. There we go. Now he wants to be there. Goodbye. He'll come back, and then they'll do this double turn where The Rock will come, the Travis Scott thing. The Rock, they come back, and then Cena's like, "Oh yeah, you guys are back for me," but then they do the double turn, and it turns out they're there actually for Cody, because now Cody officially sold his soul. And then it'll be revealed, oh, the whole time The Rock didn't want to be involved in, this is not real, obviously, but that'll be the storyline, is that The Rock didn't want to be involved with Cena because he never really wanted Cena.
Well, Cody was the first guy, right? So Cody
Right.
was the guy he wanted, and Cena was clearly plan B if things didn't go the way The Rock wanted them to go, which is what happened. So here's my thing. I think The Rock should just stay home. That's what I think.
Well, I will say that I don't disagree with you if he's gonna pull the same bullshit that he pulled during WrestleMania.
Because that's my concern, is that, he's going to let, Saturday night's main event and Evolution's next weekend. That's a big weekend for WWE. It's a big weekend for wrestling in general. It's a big weekend for WWE because they're bullies and decided to make it a big weekend for themselves. So we'll get through that. And then we have 3.5 weeks till SummerSlam. And I'm just afraid, like you said, that it's SummerSlam time, and The Rock, even though he's not been mentioned really, Travis Scott we haven't seen for months now. Like, nothing has been mentioned about that side of things for a little bit. And I'm just afraid that The Rock is going to look up, and then he's going to go, oh, SummerSlam's coming. I might as well show up and get myself involved so people can talk about me. And he's going to come back and do something. And then there's going to be, I don't want that to happen, because I don't think this story needs it. I think you can do a double turn at SummerSlam, and then you can have babyface Cena in his last match in Boston going against heel Cody to try to win the belt on his last night again and lose and get his kind of swan song.
So if there's no Rock involvement, what would the reason for Cody's turn be?
To get the belt.
That's it?
Everybody but Cody over the last few years that has become a world champion, like when we're talking about like the belt, that belt has turned people, has made people go to a side of themselves that they didn't think they could do, right? Roman was a good guy, did what he had to do to kind of take the power that he had. We've seen it happen with other people. John Cena turned heel to attain it, to attain number 17. It's like, I exactly, Maria. I think you can make that title kind of like, and I just think Cody can play into that way. Hey, I tried to be the good guy and look where it got me, kind of thing. And I tried to do things the right way, and this happened, this happened, this happened. So sometimes you just got to go the way you got to go. Lou, you going to come up? No, he's not. Again, do I think they'll turn Cody with how over Cody is and how much merch he sells, and he still clearly gets the biggest pot? Like, probably not.
No, but the thing is, though, is that these days it doesn't matter.
But I think that's a good thing
when it comes to selling merch.
And I think that's a good thing because I'm afraid that when you can really like flip us upside down and do something like that, that would be crazy. I do think, they do obviously look at that side of things and they go, well, we would probably lose out on merch. Because I mean, a little bit, because I don't think people would buy as much shit for Cody. Like the young kids and families aren't buying Cody shit if he's a dastardly heel. The guys like us will. But
How
like
has John's merch sales been since he
seen as
turned?
an anomaly. It's an anomaly. It's a different.
Cody's kind of an anomaly,
He
also.
he's definitely getting up there. And I think that, and when I talk about this as like a long form thing, let's just say you do the double turn at SummerSlam, which would be nuts, right? And then Cena's a good guy. Cody's a bad guy. And then, even though nobody thought we'd get 2 matches, let alone maybe 3 out of these 2, then you have John work his way back to maybe fight Cody in his last match. And Cody beats him again. And Cody is already, approaching that level. But that is how you truly cement Cody as like, whoa. Like Cody beat John twice in his last match too. Like that, I think that's a way that you like truly have the last guy put over the next, like the current next guy, even though, you know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because really a lot of people thought that the WrestleMania match was going to be like, oh, that, yeah, John and Cody, blah, blah, blah. But that was John making Cody look like a piece of shit.
Right.
So now what happens? Does Cody just get the babyface hero win at SummerSlam and Cody redeems himself? Or does Cody have to do something that that we didn't think he could do?
And I will say, John turning heel did not really, except for like that first month leading up to WrestleMania, with the international crowds booed the shit out of him. As soon as they came back to America, he was getting cheered again.
Yeah.
I think Cody turns heel, he will definitely get booed by the crowd.
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%. And John, and that's the thing. If you turn Cody heel now and he has John Cena, that works because you're not going to run into the fact where there will be people that still cheer for Cody, clearly. But like, you won't run into that because John Cena will overwhelmingly be getting cheered because he's almost overwhelmingly getting cheered now. And it's just, I just think it's a way to do it. And that's how you do it. And then you can build. And then once Cena's gone, you have heel Cody. And that's when you start building up because Cody has, and again, how Cody has also been very vocal that like, he doesn't plan on wrestling for like another decade or another, when he talks about it, which he doesn't talk about it a lot, but when he talks about it, he says things like, oh yeah, for whatever time I have left in wrestling, for the next handful of, like, he doesn't talk like he's going to be here for a long time. Like, I don't think Cody is going to be doing this for another 10 years.
No.
You know what I mean? So if we only have 3, 4, maybe 5 more years of Cody, if you're going to make you can make a good year and a half, 2 years of that as heel Cody, and he turns from being the guy who came back and carried the company to this next phase for the company, which he's done. Now he's the bad guy who's making new babyface stars.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you do.
I think this is the way to get what should have been John's career right.
Yeah.
Because since like 2010, 2011, all the way up to even this year before the heel turn, people were still like, they never turned this guy heel. Why didn't they turn this guy heel? And they, and John had even, I think, mentioned in Chris Van Vliet interview, maybe last year, I think it was, that there was a plan to turn him heel back in 2012.
There was.
He had a whole new entrance ready. He had new gear ready. He had everything ready to make a full-on heel turn. And then Vince decided, no, we're not doing it anymore. So I wonder what would have happened to the trajectory of John Cena's career had they actually followed through with that and turned him heel in 2012. Uh, because this heel turn this year didn't start out. It started out good,
The
but
heel
then once
turn, the heel turn in itself was an all-time moment. An all-time
yeah,
moment.
but
However,
and then the thing is because well, here's the thing though. The reason why is because of the word that you literally said to describe it. Moment.
yeah.
It was an all-time moment. Any moment that someone's not expecting is immediately gonna get a huge reaction.
Yeah, this is different though. Cena, it's just different with Cena. It's just a different.
It wasn't really though, because 3 weeks later, Rock deciding, peace out. I'm gonna move on and I'm not gonna be involved, even though everyone thinks I'm gonna be involved in this. Uh, it made Cena a little bit one-dimensional for a little while. She's just copying me now, but Lou knows.
He's
Lou
being a
knows.
psycho. He's like jumping up, jumping. Like make up your mind. Either you're here or you're not.
I
He's being a
wouldn't call it
crazy
a
guy.
flop, Fernando. I wouldn't call it a flop,
I
but
definitely wouldn't. I feel like
it
I feel like it's gotten
didn't
stronger and
live
stronger
up
and stronger.
it didn't live up to its original expectations, probably until Money
Randy,
in the Bank.
I would say Randy. I feel like the Randy match kind of started because the match with Cody is one of the worst WrestleMania main events of all time. It's dreadful.
Yeah.
It's dreadful. Like again, I don't know what he's doing, but he's being a psycho right now. But it's dreadful, right? And I think here's the thing: the pipe bomb was incredible. Not as good as Punk's though, so people need to pump the brakes on that. Like, relax.
Oh yeah,
But
that was
the
not
people,
as good as Punk.
no, but it was really really good.
The Claudio Castagnoli drop was
Yeah.
the Colt
Well,
Cabana.
no, even more than that, Drew, because they in that lead up to Money in the Bank, they obviously the pipe bomb and the Colt Cabana reference and stuff like that. But in the lead up to Money in the Bank, Punk cut another promo where he said, Cena, you get all these opportunities when people who work their ass off, like Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro, and Zack Ryder, and he mentioned them three in that promo. So when John then said Nick Nemeth, Claudio Castagnoli, and Matt Cardona, that was a callback to another Punk promo while he was doing the callback to the pipe bomb. Tremendous.
And everybody thought that the because people are people, you do those conspiracy theories of like, oh, CC, Claudio Castagnoli, Colt Cabana, and then NC, or what is it? Nick Nemeth is Nick
Nemeth is two N's, but Matt Cardona's MC.
Nick and Matt, and Colt. That was like, people thought that was where they were going with that.
Drew, people have too much time.
I know. Yeah.
Go outside, get a fucking job. People have too much time. If you're going that deep, bro, you're too deep. Relax, man. There's life out there, man. Go experience it. Lou, what is the deal, bro? Are you like chasing something? Don't get me wrong. I love that he's in here, but like, Jesus, brother, like, and he's like just looking off in the distance. That's something like, I don't know what he's doing.
That might be a good,
but maybe got the grievance.
The Punkonomics thing, that was terrible, and nobody's going to tell me that was good. No,
he had a couple good lines in there, but that was about it. That was, to me, that was more offensive than the apology. If you want me to be honest, to me, that was more of a hypocritical thing that CM Punk did than the apology. Because to me, I took that apology. I don't think he was apologizing to the Saudi government for the shit he said. I think he was apologizing to the Saudi fans for what he said, who are legitimate fans and people. So I took that as it's a bad look no matter what, but I didn't take that as some other people took that. I thought him doing the Punkonomics thing was way more of a, wow, CM Punk will do anything nowadays than the apology. To me. That's
but he imitated Jeff Hardy back then. so it's not like it's something out of his realm.
No, but CM Punk back then when he was imitating Jeff Hardy is not the CM Punk he is now. That was, hey, I'm kind of new in this company. I'm not really outspoken yet. I'm a kind of blah, blah, blah. But once he became CM Punk, he didn't do stuff like that. He would never have done stuff like that. Ever. In 2011, if they went to him and said, hey, do you want to do this? He would have looked Vince in the eye and said, fuck yourself. Fuck yourself.
Probably. Yeah, he probably would have done that.
So, again, it is what it is. But I know we've been talking about just kind of Cody and Cena and all that stuff. I think there's a really cool story that they can tell. And I think Cody's been back for over 3 years. He's been an overwhelming babyface for over 3 years. He's literally won everything you can win, including the King of the Ring now. Like, he's won everything you can win. He's most likely going to win the title again at SummerSlam. How do you make things different? Because as we remember in that WrestleMania match, as bad as it was, Cody was getting booed, man.
Yeah.
And again, it's John Cena. It's an anomaly. Anything with Cena to me is an anomaly. Anything with him. Because it's just different. It's the last year. We know it's the last year. And he is an all-time of the all-time of the all-time guys. Like, he is one of those few. Mount Rushmore. Few. It's different. But what else is there for Cody to do if he wins the title as the babyface who gets, like, what does he do after that then? Randy turns on him? Okay. I'm in on that. That's the story I've wanted Cody to do since he fucking came back through the door that they haven't done yet. You can sell me on that. You can take me from fucking SummerSlam to Mania with that, and I'm in. But what changes about the Cody character? Like, what changes about Cody? Because I'm not talking about just a good story you can tell. I need what is going to be different about Cody?
I mean, if you think about it, who realistically right now, so here's something else that could happen that hasn't been talked about. We have our Money in the Bank holder, Seth Rollins.
We sure do. And we'll talk about him. Clearly.
So
he got himself because he got himself involved in the main event, and he's open, and I'm going to let you go, obviously, but he's openly said that he's looking at both titles. So he's doing the thing where he's like, I told both the champions, have your heads on a swivel. And he's been involved. Seth Rollins is involved in a lot of stuff right now, which is good. Again, all right, now, sorry.
His group alone has been involved in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So there's the potential that you have right now in the top of the top. You have Cody, John, Punk, Rollins, Roman. Like, those are like your top 5 right now.
Yes.
Involved with the WWE Championship. That's why I didn't mention Gunther, because Gunther's the World Championship, but I'm talking about just the WWE Championship. So you have a lot of stuff that you can do there. Seth being the Money in the Bank holder, I feel like there's a potential there for maybe Seth and Cody once Cena is not the champion at SummerSlam. So you could have, another SummerSlam heist of the century.
I think we are.
Randy cashed in 2013 against Daniel Bryan. So maybe Cody does win again, but then Seth comes out and cashes in on him.
Okay. I don't hate it. So I think we are going to have a heist of the century at SummerSlam, but it's going to be when CM Punk beats Gunther for his title and Seth cashes in on CM Punk.
Well, we have to establish that there's this Punk and Gunther.
I think they started to establish it on Monday when CM Punk pushed Gunther to the ground.
Ah, that's right.
I love that. I love that segment on Raw with Gunther cutting that great promo. I love how he calls Bill Goldberg Bill. He doesn't just call him Goldberg. He calls him Bill Goldberg or Bill. It is so demeaning, and I fucking love it.
Yeah.
But Gunther cuts a great promo on Goldberg. Seth comes out, basically says, hey, congrats on winning the title and your match with Goldberg, but like, I have this, just be on alert. And then Punk comes out, he starts brawling with Seth. Seth runs up the stairs out through the crowd. Punk turns around, Gunther grabs Punk. Punk pushes Gunther over. You foreshadow that match. Punk leaves. Then you have LA Knight come out, attack Seth Rollins. They fight throughout the concourse, which I loved. We find out that LA Knight's fighting Seth at Saturday night's main event, which really good for LA Knight. He should be involved in the main event. He is a main event guy. And then he should be on Raw, I think, as well. I think a change of scenery would be good for LA Knight.
Yeah.
Kind of come over to Raw. Yes, Sandy, the new Seth briefcase looks wonderful, by the way.
Yes.
Great.
It's very, very good looking.
Yes. And typical WWE fashion, you could purchase it immediately and give them more money if you want. But then backstage.
It's a lot better than that gaudy green and gold crap. So.
Yes. And then backstage later on, CM Punk and LA Knight had an altercation. And I loved LA Knight telling Punk to go screw. Because nobody tells Punk really to go screw. And you had two good guys, and Punk's like, stay out of my way, get to the back of the line. And LA Knight's like, hey, pal, I don't know if you saw, but I'm fighting Seth at Saturday night's main event. I am the line. So why don't you get to the back of the line, buddy? And you foreshadowed a potential LA Knight and CM Punk thing too. I just thought, again, I know some people said they didn't like Raw. I thought the in-ring on Raw was fucking excellent throughout the show. And that segment opened up like 3 or 4 stories for the next couple months with Seth, Punk, LA Knight, Gunther. And to me, once CM Punk pushed Gunther over, I said, oh, that's Gunther's SummerSlam match. I go, that's a SummerSlam match right there for the title. Punk going for Gunther. And I could see Seth either, Naomi doesn't have a different one yet. She should have one with caution tape. They should give her one with that.
Oh, they definitely will. I'm sure they will.
But honestly, if you want me to be honest, I think we're getting both cash-ins at SummerSlam. Because I think Naomi is going to fuck up Jade's chance, because Jade won the Queen of the Ring and beat Asuka. And I think in the match with Jade and Tiffany, either Jade's going to win and Naomi will cash in on Jade, or Naomi is going to get herself involved and screw Jade. So yeah, I think there's potential that SummerSlam scenes 2. Hold on, my cat is being a fucking asshole. So talk a little bit, Drew.
Yeah. So I definitely so now that we're moving on to the women here, I definitely do agree. I think that I didn't think of both cash-ins at SummerSlam, but there are 2 nights of SummerSlam now. So there could be men's cash-in night 2, women's cash-in night 1. Just not to overload it with, a bunch of cash-ins in one night. But I do agree. I think probably, I mean, does it make sense to do the same type of cash-in?
No.
For both?
And I wouldn't like it that way.
And I feel like probably Seth would be after Punk wins or after Cody wins. And there would be a middle of match to make it a triple threat cash-in with Naomi.
Yeah. Personally, and I understand the King and Queen of the Ring, it was established that SummerSlam is when they get these matches. I think in this instance, they should have made the match at Evolution. I think that's what should have happened. Just because Evolution is
now,
its own.
Andy just said Naomi cash-in at Evolution, but so there is, as of right now, we only know that there's Io and Rhea is going to be at Evolution.
Yes.
We don't know anything yet about Tiffany, right?
Nope. Well, SmackDown, I have not looked at the spoilers, but SmackDown was taped after Raw. That's why Raw started at like 6 on Monday, because the Triple H, one of the good things that he does is give his people time off. And he gave them the rest of the week off for the holiday and their travel from Saudi and stuff. So that's why Raw started at 6 on Monday, because they did a SmackDown. I have not looked at the spoilers. I'm sure some people have. Do not put them in the chat. I will ban you for the rest of the day. So I'm sure things have come out.
Don't tell us, Sandy.
Yeah, I'm sure things have come out, but I have not seen them. I will watch them whenever I get around to watching SmackDown this weekend. And if things that, it is what it is. Naomi could cash in, but I feel like that would be I feel like Naomi cashing in on Jade.
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
Is literally what they've been telegraphing for a year. So how would that not be the case? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Now maybe Jade and Scott had mentioned a little earlier that Jade is leaving soon to do a movie. She's going to be in a movie. So she will be leaving soon. So maybe that is a way that they write her off, is with the cash in with Naomi. Because obviously Jade is going to be there through SummerSlam. She won the Queen of the Ring by beating Asuka. I would have picked Asuka. But, that's me. I get it. Jade looked awesome. Like, I get it. But Asuka would have been my choice. But, yeah. So I don't know. But to me, Naomi cashing in on Jade is the only way to do it. Now, Seth is a little bit more open because he does have a history with Cody. He does have a history with Cena. He does have a history with CM Punk. He doesn't really have a history with Gunther. So I still think we're getting Asuka and Io Sky at SummerSlam on the Raw side of things. I still think we're getting that. And I know somebody I thought earlier in the chat said that they were just like, oh, when Rhea beats Io. Rhea, I don't think Rhea's beating Io. I think Io's winning that match. I could be crazy, but I think Io's retaining at Evolution because I think Asuka and Io is for the title at SummerSlam.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like, and I'm not earlier this year with the whole WrestleMania thing, it may have seemed like I was anti-Rhea, but I'm not anti-Rhea. And I think that she is so massively over. Massively over. Like, she gets sometimes the loudest reaction of the night, even after they kind of fumbled her and Bianca at WrestleMania. I could absolutely see them putting the title back on her.
I mean, yeah, obviously. I just don't think they're gonna. I just think.
And I guess too, because even though she hasn't had the title for a while now, and she's still massively over, so it technically means she doesn't need the title because she's still going to be massively over. So I do agree. There is very much a potential that she doesn't end up winning and Io retains to take it to SummerSlam and face Asuka. So that is possible.
Yeah. And I just think, and my thing is, and I get it. If Rhea doesn't win, what does Rhea do at SummerSlam? But you kind of just said it for me, Drew. Rhea is so over that she can do anything at SummerSlam.
She could host SummerSlam.
No, not that. Not that
but
shit.
Not that,
But you know what I mean? Like, she can do anything at SummerSlam, and it's going to matter because she's Rhea Bloody Ripley, And it's just one of those things to me where, and that's a true point, Scott, as well. Like, there is that at Night of Champions, she had the street fight with Raquel. The Judgment Day thing still looms over her a little bit as well. Roxanne was kind of a pain in her ass. It's just, I don't know. I don't necessarily think that it's just a given. Would I be shocked if Rhea wins at Evolution? Absolutely not. She's Rhea Ripley. I just don't think it's a given that she's winning. Like, some people just assume it's a given that she's winning because she's Rhea. I don't operate that way. I just don't. The people that automatically go, oh, that's definitely happening. It doesn't always happen that way. It doesn't always happen that way. And I'm just, I'm not just going to automatically assume that Rhea is winning just because, And I think, to me, so Rhea wins the title. What do you do at SummerSlam with Rhea? We getting another Io rematch? Who does she fight? It's whether she has the belt or not. What the hell is Rhea Ripley doing? Who is her long-term? Io has been the longest-term feud for her. Because Liv is gone again, unfortunately. That happened while we were not together, as Liv had that terrible injury.
Yeah.
Which sucks because she was involved in a ton of shit. So Liv is gone. Who else is Rhea really feuding with? To me, Io Sky and Asuka is the match that people want to see the most. In my opinion. Is Rhea more over than both of them? Yes. Yes, she is. But the match, the best match you can give me for the Raw Women's title at SummerSlam is Io versus Asuka. And I want Asuka to be a vicious fucking heel going into that match. I don't want friendship bullshit. I want Io to think they're going to be friends, and I want Asuka to go, This ain't happy-go-lucky, Asuka. I'm going to ruin you. That's what I want. I would have had Asuka win the Queen of the Ring, personally. That's what I would have done.
Yeah.
I completely understand the
Naomi
for Jade.
Didn't play a role in stopping Jade from winning Queen of the Ring.
Maria, that is just a lie. So,
no, Maria.
And trust me, I love Io. I love both those. That is a bold-faced, not true statement. Rhea is probably a top 3 over person in the company. Person. That is just not a true statement. You can say that you like Io more than Rhea, but that is a factually incorrect statement.
Io is over. Don't get us wrong. We understand Io is over. Not more than Rhea, though.
No way. No way. There are champions on the roster that are not as over as Rhea Ripley. Yeah. World champions. No. Fernando, I would say both Io Sky and Tiffany not defending those titles for a long time. I know Tiffany had a title match on SmackDown, but that's the only thing. One of the only things I hated about and it was only on the Queen side. Well, I guess one of the things I hated about these tournaments was not the actual tournaments. I thought the tournaments were great, actually. The matches and stuff. I hated that specifically on like Io Sky was just Io Sky, Tiffany Stratton. While these tournaments were happening, Io Sky is just not doing anything. Just not even having matches. Like, I don't even care if they're title matches. She's not even having matches. She's just chilling in the back, waiting for the tournament to end. It's like, why aren't you just beating people? Why aren't you having good matches with viable opponents and just beating them? Non-title matches, but why are you not wrestling every week or every other week and having great matches and winning and looking like a dominant champion? So then when Jade wins the Queen of the Ring, it creates more intrigue. We know how good you are, Io Sky, but I haven't seen you wrestle in 2 fucking months. It's a joke. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, can't blame Io for that.
No.
And then truthfully, it's something that happened on Raw that I can't say I'm surprised about, but is like, really, like, come on now, because it puts a lot of moment. We talked about moments with John Cena a moment ago. There was a moment that happened earlier this year involving a tag team that was a major moment for them, a heel turn. And
yeah, what a terrible title reign, huh? What a terrible title reign they had.
But the moment, they had that moment. Very important.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I've heard, listen, I am not a scoopster, but I know a few. I have heard that the initial plan was that Big E was going to be involved after that happened. And then for some reason, they just didn't do it.
Well, that was very stupid of them.
I agree. But I heard the initial plans were for Big E to be involved with that angle going after that happened. And then I don't know if it was somebody on the WWE side that said something or somebody on, I don't know, but they just didn't do it. So I don't know. All I do know is now that Jay is not the world champion, can we just get the Usos and New Day to run it back? Raw needs tag teams. Put the Usos back together. Get Jimmy over on Raw. Give me a babyface Usos versus a heel New Day, which is something we've never seen before. They're matches that we know will hump, and they're matches that you don't have to build a story for because the story is there, and nobody's going to complain about those matches. Nobody's going to complain about the Usos. If all of a sudden we found out that the Usos and New Day were fighting at SummerSlam, is anybody bitching about that?
Not me.
No, because that match is going to fucking rule. So just put the Usos back together. It's not a detriment to Jay or anything like that. It doesn't mean nothing. Just do it. Just do it. Because just fucking do it. Yeah, if they might, but they're NXT. They're going to NXT.
Oh yeah.
They're going to go to NXT.
And the thing, like Sandy just said, I'm done with Raw tag teams. What Raw tag teams?
Well,
which Raw tag teams are there?
Before we dive in,
Judgment Day. You got Viking Raiders, or are they still calling them that? Or no, they're not.
No, they're War Raiders.
War Raiders, and
Creeds.
New Day.
The Creeds.
And the Creeds, but they don't ever wrestle. They just do, this bullshit with everything else that we're going to talk about too.
Yeah.
So like,
I think now you have Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed as well. I think they're going to be.
Yeah, but they're not like a tag team.
I think Monday basically made them one. To be honest with you, they had the mashup theme, which
so then Sammy and Penta are a tag team.
No, that's different. Come on, Drew. You're better than that.
I'm not, actually. I don't know why you think I am.
You're better than that.
They are a tag team, but they're never going to go for the tag titles.
Are you sure? You sure?
Not while they're just... Well, so this is the weird thing about the tag match. For some reason, and I don't know... You can maybe fill me in on this because you've been watching WWE for the past month.
Yeah.
Why are Judgment Day all of a sudden getting babyface reactions?
Well, they were the baby because the new people hate the New Day more. That was a match of two heels. That was a heel versus heel tag match.
It was, yeah.
And but the way the match happened, if you saw, the Judgment Day was on the babyface side of the camera, where you see their faces, because the baby faces, you always see their faces. They're in that corner. They were there. They had the hut tags. They were the way they even wrestled that match. They wrestled as the baby faces. I agree,
Finn
Joe.
Balor is very much not a babyface.
No, but I think yes, but I think people like Finn Balor regardless of that because he's good and he's been underutilized for a long fucking time.
They hate the New Day then.
Listen. You just talked about that heel turn. That heel turn was so egregious that for weeks and weeks after that, the heels in the back were like, you guys are fucked up. You guys are fucked up. Think about that. They had the most heelish of the heels in the back, and the New Day would go to them, and even the heels were like, get away from me, dude. You guys are fucked. I don't have time for you. That's how they treated the New Day after they did that to Big E. When you have other heels telling you that you're pieces of shit, think about that. That's how heelish the New Day were when that first happened. They had other heels telling them that they were, I know I'm a bad guy, but you're a piece of shit. That's how bad you guys are. Like that was like the most, Now the follow-up
the
was
Dominic
Mysterio
one I thought was the funniest one.
Yeah, because he's the
when he interacted with them backstage.
Yeah, he's the sleaziest of them all. He was back then, and he was just like, no, dude. And I would say that Dom is. You can make the argument about yes, Dom is a heel, but is he? Personally, I think what happens here is and we already saw it on Monday. They announced Finn kind of sweet talked his way to getting Roxanne to be the fill-in for Liv, so the Judgment Day gets to keep the women's tag titles as well. And Raquel and Roxanne will be the new team. and she's still trying to get to Dom a little bit and that type of stuff. Personally, I think what you do is, while Liv is gone, unfortunately, everything that Liv did to Rhea when Rhea was gone, Roxanne should be doing to Liv while Liv is gone. And then I think when Liv comes back, they are gigantic baby faces immediately. Liv Morgan specifically, but I think both. And I think you build to Finn Balor and Roxanne versus Dom and Liv.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I think that's
like
what you
that.
build to. That's a giant mixed tag match you can throw at the, I don't know how long Liv's is going to be out for. It's going to be a while. So I don't know if Liv makes it to May. I don't know. They said 6 months or more. Is Liv back by May? Who knows? But whenever Liv is healthy, I think Liv needs to come back as an immediate babyface, night one return babyface. Don't even tease like, no. Immediate, upon arrival, babyface. And then you build to that. Because Finn has been he's been smiling. I was going to think Rumble, Spencer. Hey, pal. I don't know if you commented earlier, but I missed it. But hey, love you. I was going to comment Rumble, but I don't know if Rumble is enough time. They said 6 months. That's right around then. So if things go well, the Rumble is obviously a perfect place for her to come back. I just didn't want to throw that out there, not knowing that it could be after. I don't know. But I think when Liv comes back, immediate babyface. And I think you build to a big mixed tag match at the Rumble if you can do it. Or at maybe that's the Mania match for them, as a giant mixed match. Remember that? The mixed match challenge, a giant mixed tag match.
That was fun, the mixed match.
It was fun. They did that really well. The whole Bronson and Alexa Bliss stuff was fun. Jimmy and Naomi teaming up was fun. They did that really well. I enjoyed that. Is it? Did they go back to January because it's in Saudi? I don't know. I'm sure you can Google the date in 2 seconds. I'm just not going to.
Yeah.
But
so yeah. So yeah, Judgment Day winning the titles again.
And that match was great, by the way.
The match was very good. Yeah.
That match was great. Raw had some real good wrestling.
The state of the New Day with all this nonsense is just very sad, and I don't know what happens now because.
Well, I think if you put the Usos, I think they get the heat right back on them if we get Usos and New Day. I think immediately matters again. Immediately.
I don't think that they put the Usos back together.
They should. Why
if
not?
They do again, it probably won't be until like the end of the year.
Well, I actually think it could happen at SummerSlam, because I think what you do, because that Night of Champions, and Drew, I know you were busy last Thursday, which is why you weren't here. I nailed this to a T, because I picked Solo Sikoa to win the U.S. title, and I said that Hikuleo was going to debut. And I said that's how we were going to do it. It's exactly how it went. I actually thought this was the best match on the damn show. Solo Sikoa is the new U.S. champion. He's got another new group here. He's got JC, who's been there for a while. Tongaloa came back in that match as well. And now Hikuleo debuted, took out Jacob Fatu. So hear me about this. What do you think SummerSlam, big 6-man match, Jacob Fatu and the Usos versus Solo, Hikuleo, and JC?
I don't think it's going to be. I think it should be a singles rematch. I don't think.
I feel like Jacob should run through the group, though, before he automatically gets back to Solo.
I do also want to say Solo Sikoa, JC Mateo, Tala Tonga.
Yeah, Tama
Tonga.
Tonga.
Take this group seriously?
Yeah, why not?
These names are dumb.
Do you not take Tama Tonga seriously? That's been his name forever. Tama Tonga, Tala Tonga. They're brothers.
Because they.
Why is that stupid?
The name and the size, it feels like, like Solo was the solo one on NXT, so his name was Solo, and now Tala is Tala. Then it's and I know that
that's his real first
Tala
name.
is his real name.
Yes,
I'm not besmirching his name.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm just saying that it's well, there we go. I can be Drew Tonga and you can be JP Tonga. But it didn't have to be this way. It didn't have to be.
The only name of that group that I have offense with is why did you, and again, they did a story, at least they explained it, which was, I appreciate, I guess. JC couldn't just be JC. Why does he have to be JC Mateo? If he's just JC, we get it. Jeff Cobb, JC. He's the muscle, JC. This is my man, JC. Why does he have to be JC Mateo? What? And why? Just have him be JC. That's the only name I don't like. I don't care about the other ones. But to me, Jacob Fatu should have to like run through the group. Right? He should have to like run through the group to get back to solo.
I mean, there needs to be a Talatonga and Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, he chokeslammed him almost through the table. There has to be that. You would. So, I don't know. SummerSlam is not that far away. So I'm just like, whatever, dude. I don't know. You could have just called him JC. Could have just called him JC. That's all.
Or you could have just left him as Jeff Cobb.
Yeah, but that's something that we're used to. So my thing is,
they don't do it with everybody, and I don't understand that.
And then that's the thing. They don't do it with everybody. And then also, when Hikuleo debuted at Night of Champions, they never called him Hikuleo. They never mentioned him on commentary as Hikuleo.
They never mentioned his name at all.
But when Jeff Cobb debuted, they mentioned, oh, that's Jeff Cobb. Yeah. So they do that too sometimes, where they meant, oh, that's Jeff Cobb. Like when Mariah May debuted on NXT, they never mentioned her by name. And now she's Blake Monroe.
Right. Another terrible name.
They didn't
mention Ricky Starks also.
Yes.
So they mentioned some people, they don't mention.
Just determined. Lou is just determined.
It's
today.
Strange.
So it's just kind of weird how, but like Ethan Page can be Ethan Page.
No, but here's the thing though, Scott. Ethan Page, they make money with Ethan Page.
Yes.
They made money with Ricochet, who kept his name Ricochet. They've made money with AJ Styles, who kept his name AJ Styles. You know, there's a lot of people who keep their names from the other place, but then there's some people they just change the names of, and Ricky could have just been Ricky Starks. Mariah May could have just been Mariah May.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird how it goes back and forth like that. But either way, my thing with, and this is a complete tangent, because I half agree with you when it comes to the Blake Monroe name. I like the Monroe part of it because Marilyn Monroe clearly makes sense to me. The character, how she looks, the glamour, the Monroe part of it makes absolute sense to me. Why couldn't she just be Mariah Monroe? Or what? The Blake part of it to me is like, you could do better than Blake. You can do better than Blake to me.
Also, it's feeling a little bit like a timeless ripoff. Just a little bit.
What?
Just a little bit.
I don't get that at all.
You know, that promo that she cut, banging people in the back or whatever it was. I don't remember what the exact thing was.
When the hell did she say that?
That was somebody maybe in the chat can remember like that promo that she cut where she mentioned like something sexual with the woman in the back. There was
yeah, but that was her character over there. She was
that wasn't her character. That's Toni Storm's character.
When Mariah first started, she was very sexual in nature towards Tony and me. Like that's very much been a part of.
Yeah, but
and then the heel turn, she turned into this vicious.
The Monroe aspect isn't Mariah May. The Monroe is Toni Storm.
Maybe I took
Storm is Marilyn Monroe. Mariah May was not Marilyn Monroe.
That's fair. I mean, I took it as I didn't think of Toni Storm at all. I thought of Marilyn Monroe, which makes sense because, yeah, that's the vibe that I get, Sandy, is Mariah is going for like a Sabrina Carpenter type thing. That's the vibe that I get. That's the vibe that I get.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that's right. So Sean Spears kept his name, but Lexus King is Lexus King and not Brian Pillman. You know, that's
Sean Spears is even a little bit more different because he was already there under a fake name and then left. And then they brought him back as his regular name, as Sean Spears.
Yeah.
But Rusev leaves and becomes Miro. But when Rusev comes back, he goes back to Rusev. He's not Miro.
Yeah. Strange.
Like if Claudio Castagnoli came back tomorrow, would he be Claudio Castagnoli or would he be Cesaro again?
I think he'd be Cesaro again.
I agree. Jordan Grace got to keep her name. It's another one.
But not Mariah May.
It's weird. It's weird. Again, there's obviously reasons to it that are above my pay grade. I'm sure, you know, Sean or even, I'm sure people have talked about why, and you can find the answer why. It's just, it feels like they pick and choose those things. Yeah. And it's weird to me how that happens. But, yeah. So speaking of Rusev, him and Sheamus, holy crap, man. Woo. What a match they had on Raw. What a match they had on Raw. They beat the crap out of each other. That's my type of match. I know there were a lot of people saying it, but
we're very close to League of Nations. No, I'm kidding.
Give me that, run that back. Give me that as many times as you want to give me that. I will say that is the Rusev that we need to see all the time. That right there is the Rusev
that was only like his second match too, right?
Second or third. What the hell is your problem, dude? He's trying his best to ruin. He's biting the wires. He's like trying to get on top of the computer. I'm just like, dude, you have food out there. You got everything you need. What's the problem? It's not like we've been doing this for 3 years. You know? When was it? Yeah, unbelievable. But anyway.
He came back again immediately.
Yeah, he's a psycho. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on. Cut it out.
Have you not been giving him enough attention lately?
What are we talking? No, I give him all the time. Is someone dead out there? The hell? I don't know what's going on. Is there a creature in the house? I don't know. Although I will say, underneath the house, we have a gopher situation. I have a gopher. I have a gopher. I don't need Lana back, to be honest with you. But you know, to each their own. We know why Sandy wants Lana back. Come on. We know why Sandy wants. He wants to look at her. You don't want her back for any other reason than that. But
Google images exist, Sandy.
Correct. I don't think Lana and again, he just came back, but I think in this current iteration of Rusev, Lana adds nothing to him.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary.
Lana adds nothing to him. Unnecessary. So, but regardless of that match, though, more of that, please. More of that, please. I thought that match was excellent. We finally have our way to get to the triple threat match for the IC title at Evolution. Is Bayley and Lyra had a real good match on Monday night that ended in a double pin. I had an idea that there would be some sort of smallish finish. I actually liked, even though it was kind of out of nowhere, I actually liked that finish as opposed to like a double count out or something. I actually liked the double pin because they were having a good match. So I actually liked it, and we're going to get that triple threat with Becky. There we go, Lou. That's where I need you to be. That's where I need you to be, bud. We're going to get that triple threat at Evolution. To me, this has been the best thing happening on Raw, maybe even in the company, this IC title feud with these three. This has been the best. I've loved every second of it.
Is that what you want, Lou?
No, he'll figure it out. You know, he's like being a psycho. I'm telling you, dude. He's like being a psycho.
That's a lot of stuff that might fall. In a
Oh, he's
moment.
going to 100%. Yeah. Just give it time. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. There we go. All right. There we go.
Okay.
Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. There we go. Yep. Yep. Don't look at me. Be cool. Be cool. Is he going to vom?
Oh, well. Dan Brown, when he was hosting with me, once his dog vomited in America.
Really? Is that true?
Yeah.
Hell
The first time we hosted.
Hell yeah. Oh, there you go, Lou.
Okay.
There we go. Boom. If he eats his butt, I apologize. But it is what it is. It's what they do. I'll just go like this.
Yeah.
PG show. But Sandy, I think the end goal here, honestly, is Lyra winning the title back and getting over by beating maybe not at Evolution, but I think the end goal of this story is Lyra being the IC champ again. Because when we were talking about this months ago, Drew, and we found out that Becky attacked Bayley, we talked about it and we said, hey, Becky is going to eventually win this IC title from Lyra. Then she's going to have a feud with Bayley. And then I think Lyra will win the IC title back from Becky, and it will elevate the IC title because you have two of the GOATs and Bayley and Becky wanting the title. And then it will also create an even bigger star that they've been building with Lyra when she wins the title back. And then Becky and Bayley probably go back towards a world title picture where they more than likely belong. Not saying Lyra doesn't belong up there either with her work.
No,
this last fight, she's incredible. She's incredible.
Yeah.
Although I will say Lyra been a little bit of a dickhead these last few weeks. Been a little bit of a dickhead. Cost Bayley that match against Becky for no reason 2 weeks ago. That wasn't cool. I understand you're angry at Becky, but come on. How would you feel if that happened to you? That's not cool. That's not cool. And then last week, Bayley's having an interview and Lyra comes out of nowhere and just starts accusing her of shit. It's like, come on now. I love Lyra, but Bayley's my GOAT, dude. You got to be cool. You got to be cool, Lyra. You got to be cool. So that'll be good when they officially announce it for Evolution and stuff like that. Only on the thing on Raw, that was about it. Night of Champions, like we said, Queen and King of the Ring happened. The Cena Punk match. Solo was the big title change of the night, was Solo becoming the U.S. champion, which I'm going to be honest, I know everybody's not the hugest fan of Solo. I'm not an anti-Solo guy. I think right now, in the last few months, have been the most I've been interested in Solo in a long time. They're leaning into his comedic side as the heel, and I think it's really working for him. And I think he's starting to get a little over with the crowd. And I think it's really working for him. And I think putting the title on him, I think it was a good call. I really do. Because I think Jacob either going through everybody to get that title back is cool. I wouldn't even be opposed to like Jacob just moving up the card because he's that type of guy to me. That like he's not I wouldn't say anybody is above the US title, but like right now his trajectory is higher, I would say, than the US title.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it is. And I agree with you. And I mean, because you remember I wanted Solo to win Money in the Bank originally. Because I was like, I am full on board with the Solo Sikoa right now.
Yeah. I like him. I think he's doing the best work on the main roster easily since he's been up here. Easily. Right now, currently.
Yeah.
He's found his groove.
The last thing I think is Chad Gable is injured.
Which is sad.
That is very sad. I hope that what is his injury? Do you remember?
I think it's shoulder. I'm pretty sure it's shoulder as well, like Liv, unfortunately. Not same injury, but it's shoulder. I think it's shoulder. Can I just say, justice for Chad Gable and justice for me, all you people that have been assuming and accusing Chad Gable of being grande Americano. You all got pie on your faces now, don't you? How you feeling today? Clowns. You're all clowns. Okay, Drew, continue.
So, Dynamite 300 was yesterday, and
It was. Good show.
it was a very good show.
It was a very good show. We got Kota Ibushi and Kazuchika Okada for free on a motherfucking Wednesday.
I am blessed. We are
for free.
All of us.
No, he's not, Scott. Were you watching the show?
We're moving on. Dynamite 300.
He was there. He was there on Raw.
But
excuse me, who was it? You're gonna do that now. We're gonna do the same thing we did to poor Chad Gable with another guy. That's what we're gonna do.
Kota Ibushi wrestled really, really wonderfully.
Disgusting.
People were concerned that maybe he didn't have it as well as he did pre-2023, because when he came back in 2023, it wasn't as great, and people pretty much were not surprised when he got injured, because it didn't look like he was wrestling at his best. But last night, wow. And now, so unfortunately, I was watching on a delay, and YouTube TV did not let me finish the show. So I did not see the finish, or I know Kenny Omega came out.
Yes, that was the big moment at the end.
I did not get to see it.
It was a great match. Tremendous match with these two. They just kind of went back and forth. At one point, did you see the imploding Avalanche Tiger driver? Like, how much did you miss? So you saw that.
It was around there where I cut
All right, there was only like another minute of the match or something like that. Like it ended not too long after that. So if you saw that, you didn't miss a ton. But I'm going to say this name wrong because I always do. But he went for the Kamagoye. Yeah, is that how you say it?
Don't look at me. I'm not gonna. I don't know.
Yeah, but he went for that. It was countered. They traded a few back and forth pins for a little bit. Okada just hit a real big right hand to Kota Ibushi. Then he pulled him up, and Ibushi at first ducked a lariat, but then Okada hit a beautiful drop kick that he does, and then he picked him up, hit the Rainmaker, 1, 2, 3. So the match ended just like that. And then we see Rocky Romero, Lance Archer, Don Callis get in the ring. Lance Archer picks up Ibushi like he's going to choke slam him and kind of beat him up. And that's when Kenny Omega made the save. He had a chair in his hand. They kind of surround the ring. So Kenny's kind of, Ibushi's like getting up, and Kenny's kind of like, and Trent Beretta slides in. And he has the baton there, and it looks like he's going to get Kenny because Kenny's back is to him. But then Ibushi gets up. They double team Trent. They do a German suplex power bomb combination. And then they hugged. The Golden Lovers hugged. They embraced. The crowd went crazy. The heels kind of ran off. And that was it. So it was a good little fun ending.
Something that happened on the AEW side while we have not been together. Okada's just part of the Don Callis family now.
It feels just because of the Omega stuff, yeah. Because the Elite really aren't the Elite anymore. I feel like the Bucks are just kind of the Bucks, and they're with the Death Riders now. So,
well, because now they were the EVPs, but now they're calling themselves the Founding Fathers.
Yes,
which I think works so much better.
I agree. I actually don't mind the Founding Fathers gimmick. I think it's pretty good, right? You like it, right?
I like that more.
I do too. I do too. So for me, I kind of look at it and I'm like, all right. So the Bucks are doing this thing and they're kind of aligned with the Death Riders. So now I just don't think they wanted Okada involved with that personally. So they were like, oh, how can we do this? He's going against Kenny. Yeah, Don and Kenny are, intertwined at this point. So they kind of went that route.
It is, and then there's Jack Perry, who's been MIA since losing the TNT title.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what's going on there.
at this point, I don't know when or if or what's happening. So I don't know. It's really out of sight, out of mind to me when it comes to Jack Perry. Because I don't know what's going on. Is he hurt? Like, are they just not using him? Like, he doesn't use people from time to time. There was a report earlier this week that Britt Baker is not leaving AEW. Yeah, not leaving AEW anytime soon. Still wants to be there. They're just not doing anything.
Like she doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, but they're just not doing anything with her, and it's like, okay, well,
stay hydrated, everybody.
This is just the thing that Tony does, I guess. He just has certain talent, and if he doesn't have anything for you, he just doesn't have anything for you.
Eventually,
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I thought this was fine. I thought, first of all, the opening segment to this show last night was tremendous. I'm going to be honest, one of the better opening segments in the history of AEW. I thought tremendous.
The Death Riders are back, and they are.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the
thing. Now I kind of don't want Mox. Now I kind of, even though it's Hangman, and I do.
Don't you fucking say what you're about to say.
I kind of don't.
Do not say what you're about to say.
I kind of don't. But you know, I love Hangman. Obviously, I want it. I'll cry when he wins, but Hangman comes out.
Don't say it. Delete that comment. Delete your comment.
I will
right
not.
Now.
I will. No, Bonkers is a good one. He's one of the good ones. I will not.
I'm telling him to delete his comment.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do it. You delete your comment now. Do not say that. Do not put that into the world, please.
So Hangman comes out, says a few things. He calls Moxley out, and he says, "I want Texas death." He says, Moxley, I want Texas death at, I do think Darby will be part of the Avengers assembling. I do think that is a thing we will see. Or no, I'm not going to throw it out there, but I do think we will see Darby.
I know exactly what you're.
What if Darby comes and helps John win?
I know. And
we have next week. Next week is going to be a preview extravaganza here on this show, because we have to preview All In, which is the most important.
All In.
Evolution. We'll probably touch on Saturday night's main event.
5-hour fucking show.
It's going to be a preview palooza next week. A preview palooza.
Thank God I don't have work right now. So I have this fear.
A fear?
I'm gonna say it now, because next week it's gonna be too much. So I'm not gonna get too far into it. So I have to say it now. I do have this fear that Darby turns heel and helps the Death Riders. I have this fear, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay. The sad thing is that it would be 100% justified.
100%.
Because everyone, including myself, the reason why I'm saying it's justified, everyone shit all over the idea that Hangman would lose and it was Darby's story. Everyone shit all over it, myself included.
You know who didn't?
You didn't, actually. I will give you credit on that. And I can just see Tony Khan being like, okay, well, here's the thing, everybody. You hated it so much, and that's 100% a justification for Darby to come back and go, fuck all you fans, and help Jon Moxley retain. Because John and Darby, they're not so different, the two of them. They are very, very much alike, which
has to be
the whole basis of the the leading up to Wrestle Dream and him challenging for his title shot. the whole program and the promo between them was, I think even John Moxley said himself, "We're not so different, you and I.
Correct.
We're very one and the same." And with Sting no longer being on TV and a constant presence in Darby's life, Darby is a bit of a lost soul at the moment. He needed to go and climb Mount Everest to fulfill this dream and this desire that he's had. And while he was doing that, every AEW fan, mostly, not everyone, that's a generalization. Mostly every AEW fan said, "The fuck would Tony Khan put this on Darby Allin for? This is Hangman's story now."
Yep.
So I'm not gonna say I can't see it happening because it would be 100% justified.
I don't think that'll happen.
I pray to God.
I don't think that'll happen, but I think it is a possibility. If anything, I think we could see Darby along the way. I think Hangman is going to beat John Moxley. We'll obviously talk about it more in depth and have our official picks next Thursday. But right now, as we stand, I think Hangman is going to win. I really do. And I think that it's going to be Swerve, who is the last guy that helps Hangman win. That's what we've been building to.
Yes, that 100%. Yeah,
that is what we've been building to. But I think there's going to be things along the way. I think we're going to see everybody that the Death Riders have tortured make their presence felt as the Death Rider, especially now that we know it's going to be Texas Death. This is not just a one-on-one match anymore, Drew.
Yeah.
This is no holds barred
violence.
Texas Death. I think Danielson, there is a chance we see Bryan Danielson as well.
This is going to be somebody, I don't remember who said this on Twitter. It might have been Eboom. Said that this is going to be a true IWC version of WrestleMania 40.
Yeah, this is yes, yes.
This is like the Avengers. This is
Avengers Assemble.
Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, Avengers Assemble. 100%. I don't know if Eddie Kingston is healthy. If he is, goddamn, he better be there.
Oh God, the pop for that alone is going to be insane.
But I think at All In, I think Scott kind of nailed it a little bit. I think this is the revenge of the baby faces. And I think we're going to see Darby. I think we're going to see Danielson. We're definitely going to see Ospreay and Swerve like in that match, like involved later after their, like in there. Willow. It's all happening. It's all happening. And if Eddie is available, Eddie, like, that is what we're getting here. And I think it's going to lead to Swerve doing the last thing. And I don't know if he'll maybe like openly help Hangman because he swore he never would. And I know Hangman is like, fuck you, I don't want your help ever.
No, I think so. What I told you last
man.
month, what I told you last month on our last show, what I remember specifically saying is that we need to have it be the same thing that happened at Dynasty, where Hangman came out and it wasn't, and he was going to attack Swerve at first, but then he attacked John Moxley instead, and inadvertently it ended up costing Swerve. But I think this time Swerve does get he gets Hangman to win. So yeah. It wouldn't be that he cost him. Now, there is this interesting wrinkle that they threw in last night when Swerve and Ospreay were talking to the Young Bucks. Now, the only way that they were able to get the Young Bucks to agree to the match at All In was if they said, well, Will pretty much, without Swerve, Swerve very reluctantly agreed to this. If the Young Bucks win at All In, Swerve and Osprey both cannot challenge for the world title for a full year.
However, though, if Swerve and Osprey win, and I'm glad that they clarified this, they said that they do not want to be the EVPs themselves. They just want it stripped from the Bucks. Because I knew the week before, everyone was like, oh, are Swerve and Will going to be the EVPs? So I'm glad that they said, no, we don't want to be the EVPs. We just don't want you to be the EVPs.
Right.
Anymore. So I'm glad that they made that distinction. But
so that's going to be very interesting because I genuinely don't know how that's going to go.
I mean, I think if they lose, they become tag champs.
I mean, they wouldn't literally not be the EVPs anymore.
No,
because they're still going to be the EVP.
My guess would be, again, and we'll talk about it more in depth. Right now, we have to see what happens on the go home shows and Collision on Saturday, and things of that nature. But if I had to pick that one right now, I'm probably picking Osprey and Swerve in that one. I think I'm picking the baby faces in the big matches.
So I think what would add to the main event of All In would be
the Bucks
Swerve and Swerve and Will actually losing.
Yep.
And then Will comes out to help Hangman, but Swerve doesn't come out with him because Swerve's really angry now that he can't challenge for the title for a year. But after everyone comes out, the whole Avengers, Danielson, Will, Darby, maybe even Eddie Kingston if he's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Swerve is the last one to come out, and he still ends up helping Hangman. And you're going to see frustration on his face, but he knows that it's the right thing to do because he's acknowledged already to Hangman that he was in the wrong last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what's going to happen. I think maybe they lose, and Swerve just gets really frustrated at Will after that match. Maybe shoves him, walks away, angry, and then you're thinking, "Oh fuck! Well, now that puts Hangman's win in jeopardy later." And then Hangman, maybe when Will is coming out, he's like looking to see Swerve, like, where's Swerve? Why isn't he coming out with me? And then everybody comes out, and Swerve is the last one, and Swerve gets it done for Hangman.
I would love it, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Do you think that if they were to lose and not be able to challenge for the world title, do you think they become a tag team and go after the tag team belts? Could you see that happening? Not for the whole year, but I think it wouldn't hurt if they went for, if Will Ospreay is going for the TNT title, if Swerve is going for the unified title. I think it wouldn't hurt for those guys to be going for mid-card titles either. As
much as I would love Jet Speed to win the tag titles at All In, I don't think it's going to happen.
I would agree.
But Swerve and Will,
yeah,
I could see that happening.
100%. 100%.
So, and I honestly have to say, out of all of the teams, except for maybe the Guns, I would say, out of all the teams that have faced the Hurt Syndicate for the tag titles, I think Jet Speed, very much so on how they booked last night with the two.
Very good. I liked it.
That was legitimately like the coolest moment for them. They looked like such badasses keep getting up, keep getting up, keep getting up. As much as they get beaten down, I would legitimately say this is the first tag team that look like they could defeat the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, I agree. Christian and Fernando, Christian and Nick Wayne, they feel like are they're doing tag team stuff too. Christian's talked about them being the first father-son tag team champions in AEW. So I could see them getting a shot at one point. Yeah, I loved that segment with both those guys are special guys in Jet Speed. They're Kevin Knight, Speedball, those are big time guys. And they're going to be world champion. Like, those are big time guys.
What a phenomenal get for AEW.
Yeah. And they're a great team together. I like them together as a team. I think they gel well together as a team. I think they're a good tag team that AEW has, and they're a new good tag team. They're not going to beat the Hurt Syndicate at All In next week, which kind of stinks because I would I don't necessarily want the tag titles off the Hurt Syndicate, but that's what it feels like, Maria. It feels like FTR is kind of like just doing stuff that are like at the top of the tag team division, but just as far away from the titles as possible. It's like a separate world that FTR is dealing with over there. And it's like, well, okay. But, I would love Jet Speed to pull off the upset. I don't think it'll happen, but this could be one of those things to me where they show what they're made of here. And segment last night, this past few weeks, they have a valiant effort, like an actual, like, really good match with the Hurt Syndicate where it looks like they're going to win and then they don't. And then eventually down the line, a few months from now or so, they actually do. And it's just that much of a bigger moment for them, maybe, type of thing.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But there's too many tag teams right now that are floating around that I think, and I do genuinely think, what makes the most sense is for the Young Bucks to win, and then Swerve and Ospreay become a tag team, and I think they could be the ones to take the titles from the Hurt Syndicate, and then FTR can be the one to take it from them.
Yeah, agreed. I agree. Maria, I don't agree, but it is what it is. I know we were talking about that opening segment, and then we kind of went off on one of our tailspins that we do. But Hangman asking for Texas Death and Moxley coming out and Moxley cutting the promo that he cut. And specifically the line that's been making the rounds on social media where he said, I could come out here and call myself. He goes, people call themselves the best in the world. He goes, that's basic bitch shit. He goes, I'm more than that. And I was like, damn, why are you doing Max Caster dirty like that? The hell did he do? Well,
so now the other thing too, I'm glad you threw this in because I was going to mention this and I forgot. Lately, in Jon Moxley's promos, he's been talking about being at the top of the mountain.
Who just climbed a mountain? Who was at the top of literally the king of mountain, the biggest mountain, the mountain of the mountains. I'm just saying, guys, I've been saying it for months and you've all have laughed at me. Just saying. So then Hangman, they're going back and forth. Hangman cut one of his best promos. Moxley was on fire. Hangman slaps Moxley across the face. They start brawling. Hangman pulls a fork out, and it's like, oh, shit, we're doing this right now. But Wheeler Yuta comes in. They go back and forth. Marina Shafir's in there. She slaps Hangman. We then see Claudio. The numbers games are coming. And then eventually the ops come out to kind of, clear up everything. And Death Riders are starting to leave. And Hangman grabs the mic And he goes, "That's the best you got, John?" He goes, "Sending your neutered lapdog, Claudio, after me?" He goes, "Because I'm still standing." Claudio gets pissed, grabs a chair, storms back towards the ring. But Samoa Joe kind of blocks him off. And then Shafir is in the ring with the briefcase. And she tries to hit Hangman with it. He gets it out of the way and he grabs the briefcase. So Hangman has the briefcase. And Marina's on the ground. And he grabs the mic and he goes, "Hey, man." He goes, "Give me Texas Death." He goes, "I got something you want." He goes, "Give me Texas Death." Mox comes back to the barricade. He says, "If that's what you want it all in, that's what you get, Texas Death." So it's official. He goes, everyone starts to leave. You think the segment's going to be over. And then Hangman,
kind of see it, though.
Incredible. So Hangman kind of walks out of the ring and he's standing on the apron. And he grabs the mic. And he goes, "Oh, there's something I forgot, John." He goes, "You said that."
I was like, "Oh, Marina's getting it. I knew it."
Yeah. He goes, "You said that I don't have what it takes." He goes, "But you know that's a lie. And Texas Death, you know that's a lie." He goes, "But just in case you need a reminder that I'll do whatever it takes." And he hits a massive, but he got her right across the fucking head with this thing. He crushed her. He hits a massive buckshot lariat to Marina Shafir. And it was, Scott, yes, it was wild. What a moment. That whole opening segment was incredible. And just an incredible opening segment. It was very, very good. And now we have Texas Death, which is just, that takes that up a notch. Maybe a few notches.
Yeah.
Because that is, okay.
By the way, I've seen this a couple of times now. I just want to call this out because I just find it funny, and I want to know why people are doing this. Fernando and Maria both put all in with two N's, like it's a motel. What is it? Why?
Yeah, I've seen
it's
that.
Only one. It's one N, guys.
One N, guys. Like you're going in somewhere. I'm going into the like I'm going in the building. One N.
This isn't like a Holiday Inn.
It's not a hotel. It's not a hotel.
It's just one N. Somebody else did it too earlier.
Yeah.
What's going on?
So that was a great opening segment. We also, I know we talked about Okada and Ibushi. That was the big main event. We also had a championship match. That was the first match of this show, and it was a damn good one. It was Mercedes Moné defeating Mina Shirakawa to retain the TBS championship. Toni Storm was on commentary during this, but she barely said a word. She was basically like, what's the word I'm looking for here? She was like, oh, God damn it. There's a word. But she like, she was like in a train, like almost just kind of like, she barely talked.
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for? Shell shock. That's a good one. Is that a good one?
Catatonic.
Catatonic. That's a good one. Yeah. That's it. Catatonic. That's what I was thinking of.
Thank you.
But so that happens. They had a great match, these two, as we've seen before, but they had a great match, these two. Mercedes wins with an inside cradle, continuing her great run of wrestling.
Let me tell you something. Mercedes Moné, she is winning in life right now. She is winning in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got all those titles. She's got a beast. She is winning in life.
It's going to be a shame when she loses to Toni. But post-match, Mercedes attacks Mina. And then Storm kind of snaps out of it. She gets in there. She makes the save. Mercedes kind of runs away. She grabs her belt. And she kind of sneaks up from behind for Toni, who's checking on Mina, and she hits her over the belt. And there was a cake, because this was also Mercedes' 1,000th match last night, which is it's a lot of matches. It's a lot of matches, which is a good feat for her. Congratulations on 1,000 matches. She goes over to the table. There was a cake and all that. She licked the cake. Didn't hate that. Never been more jealous to be a cake in my life. It's crazy.
Listen.
Crazy how that works.
I'm jealous of her. She's got the beast mode. So.
Yeah. Scott, I'm right with you. Obviously, I kind of was never going to bank on, get it what I said? Bank. Get it? Get it? I was never going to bank on Mercedes losing, but I thought she should have lost last night. I thought Tony should have cost her the match last night, create some intrigue. She gets her first loss. That, to me, which is more important, would create a second title match on All In for the ladies, which I think is really the shit. I mean, first of all, I'm going to say it. This match is going to be tremendous. It's going to be great. The build has been kind of shitty to me. It has not been that great. It's been a little lackluster to me. And I think it's been lackluster because there's no real story, because the best story was if Jamie Hayter fucking won. But I get it. And I love Mercedes, so I get it. With that being said, the build to this match has been very lackluster to me. The match will be great. And it's going to be tremendous. I have no doubt that the match is going to be an all-timer. But the build has been subpar to me because there's no story. There's no story to this build. It's just the two, and that's what you get. And that's what you get when you make the decision to go with the two biggest names instead of the best story. This is what you get. You get a lackluster build. And that's what it is. But the build has been, I would call it flat out pretty bad, to be honest with you. It is what it is. But yeah, but Mercedes is not going to win next week. Mercedes is not going to win. Fernando, you are, and again, I'm from Boston. I am more of a Mercedes fan than you are, I assure you. I've watched her like whole career, like before she was anybody you even knew about. So like, I'm a huge Mercedes guy. The build has been trashed. It's not been good. The build has not been good. You are swayed by your Mercedes love in that, my friend.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I don't.
It's been lackluster at best, I would give it.
Good promo segment.
Oh yeah, the promos have been fine. Stop it, but it's been average, lackluster, subpar. It's been average
compared to other stories being told.
Yes. The prowess of the match, no question. One of the two main event options. Gonna be one of the best matches on the show. I'm not debating any of that. The build has been not great. So it is what it is. I don't know where Jamie's been. They did that thing where she got attacked by Tekla.
Right. Yeah.
And is that the last we've seen her? They haven't had that blow off at all. We haven't even seen, I mean, I know she's been on Collision. I didn't watch Collision the last week or so, but one-dimensional is a very nice way to put it, Ophelia. It was a very nice way to put it. One-dimensional. And again, why I say that I would have had Mercedes lose last night is I just think it's a crime that we're not getting a TBS title match at All In. I just think, and that was another deterrent to making this decision.
And this match is only for one title.
Yes, it's not winner take all. It's for one title. So you have your second most important and your only other women's title in your company involved in a match for a different title. And it just takes another women's match off the card.
And then also,
it makes that belt not feel important. It's just,
there's also two champions facing each other on the show as well. Two men's champions are facing each other. So
yeah, Kenny and Okada.
But
that at least is a winner. That is at least.
Well, right, but that's also less. That's less title matches on the show because there's two titles for one title.
Yeah,
and then there's two titles for one title. So there's no TBS to have a second women's match. There's no second match for either the international title or the continental title. So there's going to be a lot of non-title matches on the show.
Yeah. So that part of it is really the thing that sticks me. Yes, I did. We talked about it all the time. Weekly, Fernando, we talked about it. About how upset we were that those titles were not being defended. Do you not watch the show? You're here every week. We literally were yelling about it for months. I did have a problem with it. That was even
Every
worse because
time,
they just
every
weren't
time
on
the
the
women's
show.
tag title is involved in a feud with another title, I'm always bitching about it.
Yeah, literally. I know you love Mercedes, but relax, bro. It's not that serious. She was look at again. The match is going to be fire. It's the story hasn't been good, and it takes a title
Scott
match
said
away.
Jamie is injured. I didn't know.
All right, that's fair. All right, I didn't know that either. So, again, there should be a TBS title match happening at All In.
It should be Athena.
And it should be Mercedes and Athena. Because as much as Mercedes and Tony is going to be great, I care more about Mercedes and Athena. And that if you were going to tell me that we were getting that match for the TBS title at All In, I would be even more excited for that match than I am for Tony and Mercedes at All In. Because I'm telling you right now, I would be more excited for that immediately.
It's Athena's it's Texas is her home state, so she should absolutely have a match on this card.
Yeah, you have 2 women's titles; they should be defended on your biggest show.
Maybe they'll have the Ring of Honor Women's Championship be defended.
Okay, that's fine, but it is just kind of, I don't know, and that was the thing. Like my choice, when we go all the way back to the Owen tournament. My choice for not picking Mercedes wasn't because I'm anti-Mercedes. Like Mercedes is one of my favorites of all time. She's the best women's wrestler on the planet right now. It's not an anti-Mercedes argument.
She's got 5 titles.
Yeah, it was not an anti-Mercedes argument, which I think people take it seriously because when you talk about Mercedes, there's no you're either here.
There's no gray area.
Much like the political state of the United States of America. You're either way the fuck over here or you're way the fuck over. There's nobody in the middle that's just normal. It's very bizarre. But I was like, yeah, because you know what? Jamie and Tony would have been a better story. And it would have allowed Mercedes to have another banger match with Athena and a second title match on All In. It was the proper thing to do. But it.
No, because I remember even I said it was like, oh, it makes the most sense for Jamie to be the winner of the Owen because they have her and Tony already have a history, specifically for the title that Tony's holding right now,
and at All In specifically,
at All In specifically, right? The first All In, and the feud, the little mini feud that Athena and Mercedes had. Makes the most sense for that to be a second women's title match at All In. We were saying that back then a few months ago. So we are if anything, we are consistent.
Always. We are always consistent. All right. So that was a good little piece of business. Mercedes then went, licked the cake and she drank champagne and spit it in Luther's face. And that was that. Let me tell you what Ophelia, to answer your question, besides the gauntlet match, as of right now, I believe Tony and Mercedes is the only. There are not a ton of matches for All In currently. I think there's only been 4, maybe 5 with the gauntlets that we got Okada and Omega. We got the 2 title matches and we have the 2 gauntlets. Have they they announced anything else yet? Like officially announced anything else yet? I don't think so.
Did they announce it?
Did they officially announce Jet Speed last night?
I think they did, yeah.
Okay, so that's.
Or they were challenging for it.
I know that.
So it's going to be a match. So
yeah.
So that's 6 matches.
Ophelia, I'm not sure. So you asked 2 questions. And then you said, is Athena in the Casino Gauntlet? Last week, Athena was in a fatal. I always say fatal. Was in a 4-way to determine who the first entrant was. Fernando, we don't have a few weeks to go. It's literally, we have 1 Dynamite to go. It's next Saturday. All In. It's next Saturday.
Yeah.
So there are not a few weeks. So Athena was in a fatal 4-way. Damn it. A 4-way to determine who would be the first entrant in the gauntlet. And she lost that match. Doesn't necessarily mean she won't be in the gauntlet, but MJF is in the gauntlet now, Scott. He won the fatal 4-way. Damn it. He won the 4-way. Shit. I did that like
And
3
that was a
times
really
in the
good
last
match as
fucking
well.
3. Oh my God, yeah. And I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I even tweeted, I said, I want Brody King to win this match so friggin' bad. But I knew he wasn't.
At
But
least
this
he knew
match was
he did.
awesome. AR Fox, man. Dude. AR Fox, man, that guy is, he's so good. Is Drew frozen? Did we just lose Drew? Well, Spencer, I'm going to be on myself now. I'm going to be on myself now that I'm never going to say it ever again. I think we lost Drew. So it's going to be Joe doing solo, JPJ doing solo until Drew gets back.
Am I back? Hello?
Oh, I can hear him. He's back. Drew's back.
Okay.
All right.
Am I frozen? Am I good?
No, you were frozen for a while. You were
Okay.
frozen
Yeah.
for a bit, but you are back.
My Wi-Fi just, or though I'm not on Wi-Fi, I'm connected to the internet, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, well, you must have been saying something to me. So I
Well, no,
apologize.
all I said right before you froze is I said this 4-way was awesome, and I said AR Fox, man. I go, that guy rules.
Oh,
He's
AR
so good.
Fox,
He's so good.
happy, so happy that he's been on TV more. So happy.
As he should be, dude. He gets reactions from the shit he does and the reactions he gets from the crowd. Dude, that guy is amazing. He was amazing. They were all great in this match. That guy was amazing in that match. AR Fox was incredible in this match last night.
Yeah.
And then you had the signature moment. Peggy mentioned it because it's now Brody King's new Twitter profile pic. But when he did the choke out to MJF over the ropes and was hanging him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What a visual. What a visual. Really good match. MJF spent like the first quarter of the match at the commentary table, letting the other 3 guys beat the crap out of each other and being a heel, and it was fun stuff. MVP was right next to him shouting shit. It was good stuff. That was funny. And then MJF got his comeuppance a little bit. They did the Brody King thing, but at the end of the day, somebody hit their finishing move on Anthony Bowens, and it got broken up by AR Fox. And then MJF slid right in, and he hit the salt of the earth on AR Fox, and he got the tap out. So MJF will be the number 2 entrant in the Casino Gauntlet Battle Royal. And I'm going to tell you this, Drew. I know we already talked about the jet speed stuff, which actually happened after another segment that happened right after this match. But Mark, I am loving the Mark Briscoe MJF stuff, man. I'm in on it. I like it. I'm in on it.
Yes, me too. And Mark Briscoe being involved in anything is amazing.
Yes, we've always said that we love Mark Briscoe around here. Mark Briscoe comes out.
Tickets, Ophelia said, ticket sales slow. They have not been. They're actually there were
over 5,000 people at a Dynamite last night, which was the first time they've gotten over that number in a while. There
were a lot of people sitting on hard cam side this time.
Yeah.
The Pickle MJF sign was hilarious.
Did you see his shirt last? The shirt.
Homos for Hangman as well.
Yeah,
that was
there was a Homos for Hangman shirt. That was a great sign. A Mark Briscoe shirt last night said MJF has a tiny pickle
with little word kosher in
the
middle. So they are very close to beating their American ticket sales record.
Yeah. Listen,
I believe that was the first the first Grand Slam.
It's
I
like
believe that was almost 21,000.
Yeah, 20. Yeah. Look, at AEW is on a good trajectory right now. People are starting to go to the shows again. The crowd, they're doing really good stuff. So Mark Briscoe comes out, who we found out last week is the number 1 entrant in the Casino Gauntlet match. And now MJF is number 2. He said, "Hey, Max, congrats, but all you've done is ensured yourself of an ass beating of an unspecified length," which I just love this man. Yeah, he goes, "Last week, he goes, you called me a blue collar bitch." And he goes, now I wear that first part like a badge of honor. He goes, but calling me a bitch. He goes, that guaranteed that beatdown you got coming next week. He goes, I'm always 2 steps ahead of you. So I got a proposition. He goes, next week. He goes, why don't you leave your buddies in the back? And he goes, and just the 2 of us go in the ring and we talk. We have a little talky talk. And I'm like, are we going to get a Mark Briscoe and MJF one-on-one promo battle next week? Because sign me the fuck up. Sign me up. That is going to, of all the people that I could think MJF have a promo, Mark Briscoe was never in my brain. But now I'm like, let's go, dude. Give me it. Oh, I loved it. And then he said, so if you got a set of nuts next to your tiny pickle, I'll see you next week. Tremendous. It was good stuff.
MJF famously, who had a Kalen and Kalen Pickles little partnership with.
Sure did.
So this is very much in his wheelhouse.
Sure did. We talked about the stuff with Swerve and Will Ospreay and the Bucks, which happened after that, but the Bucks and Takeshita had I'm saying tremendous a lot today, a really, really good 6-man match with Bandito and Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. Really good. A few of the matches tonight were built around the new Superman movie, which comes out next week.
Yeah, that's right.
So they were calling it like heroes versus villains, and this was one of them. The heroes were Bandito and Paragon against Takeshita, and the Bucks, who were the villains. Takeshita is fighting Bandito for the Ring of Honor title at the Ring of Honor pay-per-view the night before. All in next Friday as well. But that was a really good match. Takeshita kind of dominated the end of it and got the win. Kyle O'Reilly got murdered at the end of that match. Literally murdered.
Yes, he did.
And then we had the segment with Swerve and Will Ospreay and the Bucks, where they did the no championship for the year or whatnot. And then that went into our second heroes versus villains match. And that was Swerve and Ospreay going against Dralistico and Beast Monet. And so that happened. That was a good match.
Don't say that. Don't hurt me like that.
Sorry. Isn't it crazy that he started dating Mercedes Monet and he's on Dynamite every week now? Main evented it 2 weeks in a row the last 2 weeks. Crazy how that happens.
Mercedes, his star power is being real.
No, I'm going to say I'm Fernando again, proving I'm not an anti-Mercedes. Mercedes elevates everyone. So
including
that's
Beast Mortos.
Correct.
Correct.
Swerve.
Yeah, this was a really fun match.
This was a fun match, but obviously you knew Swerve and Will were winning this match, and they did. And they pinned Dralistico because you knew Beast Mortos was not taking a pinfall. Absolutely not. But after this match, though, Ospreay offers his hand out for a handshake with Swerve, and Swerve left him. He eventually shook it, but he left him hanging a little bit because he's not thrilled that he's not thrilled. Swerve is not thrilled. So I don't know, because is there a chance that if they do lose Swerve and Ospreay, maybe they don't? Swerve is then pissed at Ospreay because now I can't be a champion for a year because of your dumbass. Is there a way they could do that?
But I feel like they would. I think that Swerve is able to put his differences aside for Will more than for Hangman.
I agree.
So I think okay, we can't challenge for the world title, but we can pair up and go for the tag titles. I could see that being a thing.
Yeah, that's that's what I would envision it going. But I could also see them doing that thing where they're just kind of like Swerve is like angry at Will. Maybe Swerve's angry at first, like you said, and then Will has to like, no, come on, I know I'm sorry, but like we can be tag champs. And then eventually, like he convinces Swerve to do it, and then they become, you could do it that way, maybe.
Yeah.
But that really was. I don't think we missed anything. Did we miss anything?
No.
Scott, do you want to reference Scott's comment to you? Because I did see that, by the way.
I did see that. It was funny and cute, and they're adorable together, and I love them. Very jealous of Mercedes, but it is what it is. I'm
Is it
married.
Mercedes Mortos or is it Beast Monet? It's Beast Monet, right? Beast Monet is better than Mercedes Mortos.
There's
Mercedes.
Mercedes.
No. What?
No,
That doesn't work.
I guess a Beast Monet. I guess
A great name.
Mo-
Could you do Monet Beast? Money Beast? The Money Beast?
I think Mercedes needs more of the.
If there was a pro wrestler that called himself Beast Money, I would be in on that. I would be in on Beast Money.
If Beast Mordos was calling himself that.
No, he's Beast Money. We're obviously kidding, guys. Relax. But
I think it needs to be more geared to Mercedes with Beast Mortos as the number 2. So it could be like
so Beast Monet. He takes her last name, Beast Monet.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't think about it that way. All right.
Yeah. Mercedes and Beast Monet.
Okay. Yeah, I'm for that.
Thank you, Tony. You're welcome.
Thank you. Scott.
So
thank you for your condolences.
There we go. That's how we do it. I don't think we missed anything on Dynamite 300. I think that was
because we talked about the main event
that happened. Yeah, we kind of started with the
that happened after the Swerve and Ospreay match.
Yeah, we started with Okada and Ibushi. That ended the show, and obviously the stuff that ended with Kenny and so that was the main event of the show. Really good Dynamite. Over 5,000 fans. I think they were in Ontario, California.
Yeah,
that's where they were. Really good. I thought it was a good Dynamite. I thought it was a good show. It's a milestone week for AEW with the 300th Dynamite. This Saturday is the 100th Collision. So I expect that they'll kind of make that show a
really
little bit
awesome
bigger
how
than
that
usual.
happened.
Yeah,
it just
that's crazy.
Gelled that way.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. That's pretty nuts. But that works. And then obviously next week is the go home week where there isn't a Collision. Are they doing Collision on Thursday next week, or is there no Collision?
I am
because of All In. Okay.
I don't know.
So we at least have the go home Dynamite next Wednesday, potentially a Thursday Collision if they might be doing a Thursday Collision, I think. Maybe. I think they might be doing a Thursday Collision. But either way, we have the go home week next week. And then, like we said, next Thursday, we will be back here at 9 a.m. and it will be a preview palooza as we will be going all in on All In. Then we'll be talking a little bit about Saturday night's main event. We'll be going all in on Evolution. Hopefully we have the majority of that card built as well by the time we get here next Thursday.
Hopefully.
Because we only know a couple matches there
as well right now. As of right now, Evolution is a mystery.
Got to draw a line in the sand somewhere, Drew. So, that's, in my opinion, top 5 wrestling theme song of all time.
Oh yeah,
Evolution.
And by the way, that was also a top 5 moment for the show.
Yeah,
that we didn't even plan that out.
Nope. Just that's how good. Yep. That's what we do. I know we haven't been on screen in a little bit, people, but we didn't lose our greatness. That shit don't just leave. It just stays with you.
And we did a whole hour and a half on WWE, and it didn't even matter that I didn't watch Night of Champions.
No, I still yelled at you, though.
Undeservedly so.
No, that's not true. Watch the show. We talk about the show. You watch the show. Yeah. But you have actual reasons to not watch it. And a lot of people do. And I don't care if people don't watch it. Just, you knew we were talking about it. At least have an idea. That's all. But I respect you more as a human than I do that show. So I did get on you, and I will continue to get on you because that's what I do. I have expectations of my people. And when they are not met, it's disrespectful to me. So that's how I view that.
I hope you treat Corey the same way. Well, you can.
I treat everybody the same way. I yell at Pluggo. I yell at you. On the Hive, I haven't had to yell at CJ yet, but maybe.
Don't yell at CJ.
I love CJ. I love
CJ too.
Yeah. A little bit later on this afternoon, early like dinner time-ish, new episode of The Swarm coming out over on the Hive. We talk about pro wrestling. We talked a little bit more in depth about Night of Champions because we actually had 2 people that watched it, which was crazy. So it was a crazy time how that happened. So we talked a little bit more in depth about that. Yeah.
And you'll get to talk more about the show that 2 people watched and another person because you have a guest on Beards tonight.
We do. We have our pal Joey Carney coming on Beards tonight. We're going to talk Dynamite 300. We're going to talk Night of Champions. We're going to talk about the build up to All In and Evolution and that massive weekend of wrestling next week. Yeah, Joey's he's a friend of the show. He's been on a handful of times. We love him. He's a good guest. Always brings a great perspective. And he's a guy that watches AEW, but he's way more WWE than AEW. But I think he's one of the guys that watches both and is fair. Like, he critiques AEW, but he does it in a respectful way. And he's not one of those guys that just shits on everything to shit on everything. Like, there's things he likes and does, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that we just need more people like that. So, yeah, I'm very excited about him on the show this evening. Yeah. There we go.
There we go.
That's what I got going on. What do you got going on?
Follow me at the Drew Nicholas. Things go on there, and I talk about them.
There you go. You're not doing anything else with the other fellas over there?
Oh, I did Roundtable also. Actually, yeah. I ran a trivia last night. That was fun. We did the trivia Wednesdays. We're not doing GM mode this Friday because it's 4th of July and everyone's going to be out. So we're skipping this week. But we did GM mode on Friday to 2K25. We did trivia on Wednesday. There's a show talking about Raw on Monday night when we usually don't end up talking about Raw. And yeah.
Fair enough. Any of our American friends have a nice, safe holiday tomorrow? Enjoy it. Enjoy the weekend. 4th of July on a Friday. People are going to be partying all weekend, Drew.
Yeah. There's been fireworks going off all week already.
Oh, yeah. Last week, my town did their fireworks, which I love fireworks. I know Spencer doesn't. Sorry, pal. I love fireworks, but I am vehemently against not doing fireworks on the 4th of July. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. If you're going to do them on the 3rd, just fucking do them on the 4th. What the hell is the difference?
Why would you not do them?
On the 2nd, last night. I don't know, but for the last decade of my life, maybe even longer, the 4th of July fireworks happen in Boston. Like, they happen in Boston in the big city, but all the little towns, like the town I grew up in, the town I live in now, like the town that I grew up in is doing theirs on Saturday the 5th. Why?
You missed it. Why would you do it after the fact?
Why? The town that I live in right now literally did them last night. Why? What the fuck is the difference? Kids are out of school. What the fuck is the difference? Why are you not doing them on the 4th of July? It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
I'm not even a fireworks guy. I don't really care about that.
I mean, I don't love fire, but you know, if you want to say, hey, let's walk down to the bridge and watch the fireworks, yeah. I think there's a little bit of like romanticness to fireworks as well, and there's like a, you know, reminds you of summer, reminds you of being a kid. There's just there's like a romanticism about it a little bit to me, not just like romancy, like, you know. I mean, like, it reminds me of being a kid and being pumped for fireworks and baseball, and as much as America kind of sucks right now, like 4th of July, and I talked about this with CJ yesterday. I feel like it's really weird because I still love the 4th of July, like as a holiday. I love cookouts. I love by the pool, drinking and during the day. Like, I love everything that the 4th of July stands for, but it's such a terrible time in the country right now that I'm like not proud of where we are as a country.
We'll be here for another hour.
No, we're not getting into that. No. I'm just saying it's a weird feeling because I love tomorrow's holiday, but it's just, I'm not proud of what's happening.
You can still love.
It's just a weird feeling. It's just a weird feeling.
You can love America and hate who's running it.
But I'm not
I
even.
think that you can do that.
Yeah, that is true. But I'm just saying, it's just a weird feeling because tomorrow is the day that we usually celebrate America. It's our birthday. It's Independence Day. Like tomorrow is a day that is very pro-American. And I feel like now, because of what's happened the last 6 to 8 years, pro-American has and it should, but there's a certain stigma that comes with that. It's just weird. It's just weird. That's all.
Well, there is the stigma, I think. We were just talking earlier about with Mercedes fans not being black and white. It's always black and white, isn't there? No gray area.
Yeah.
The thing with me and America is the black and white doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You need to look at it down the middle. It's a great country to be in for its freedoms, most of the freedoms. There are definitely some freedoms that don't exist right now.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to take those away more and more by the day, it feels. But yeah.
But if I wanted to live somewhere else, it may be harder for me. It is not harder for me here. So I love my flag and I love America and I'll be happy to celebrate tomorrow. But I know that the people running the country right now are fucking god awful. But that shouldn't stop you from still celebrating.
Yeah. Oh, I'm celebrating. I had the weekend off, Drew. I mean, I've been sick as a dog, so I hope I wake up tomorrow feeling all right. Because I have smaller plans tomorrow for the actual 4th, but Saturday and Sunday, we got some bangers happening. We got some bangers happening on Saturday and Sunday, Doug. But regardless of that, I just need to let that out because I've been feeling iffy about it all week. I'm like, I usually get pumped for the 4th of July, but I feel like I shouldn't be. Damn it. But it's all right. Drew gave me the okay, so I'm all right now. Not sorry I yelled at you, but glad you're back. Appreciate the fact that we were able to do this for the first time in a month. And hopefully next week we'll be back here again and, things will get kind of back to normal here on the Firmly front of things. But
Firmly
follow us.
Frontier.
Yes. Follow us at Firmly Inc. over on the Twitter machine. If there are any changes, one of us is soloing. We have to do something because of life stuff. That is where we'll make the announcement. That is where you'll know kind of what's going on with us if there has to be a change. But the band is back together. We are good to go. Next week is a giant week for pro wrestling. And then we're in SummerSlam season, baby. And then it's go time. It's go time starting next week. So very excited that we were able to get back together and do this. Appreciate everybody in the chat, even the people I yell at. Appreciate you all. You guys mean everything to the show. You mean everything to what we do here at Love Wrestling. So we appreciate you greatly. I will see you all a little bit later tonight for Between Two Beards with my main squeeze Pluggo. Big shout out to Pluggo as well. Last night, I was so sick that I couldn't do the post show over on Body Slam with Jose for Dynamite, and Pluggo stepped up.
In for you?
Pluggo stepped up and filled in. If you can't have one beard, what's better than getting the other, So Pluggo stepped up and made his Body Slam debut last night. So
very nice.
Big shout out to him. Love that guy. Proud of him and all the cool stuff and all the stuff that he does. So, all right, we're going to get out of here. Follow me at JPJ Loves Gaming. Follow him at the Drew Nicholas. We're out. We'll see you next week. Preview Palooza next week. Everyone have a great holiday. I know Canada had their Canada Day on July 1st. So happy belated Canada Day. I think that's what they call it. Canada Day to our Canadian friends as well. So appreciate you. See y'all next week. Till then, you know the drill. Peace out.